7:42. It was about to start about 2 seconds ago. Yeah, alright. Just time it up, I guess, again. Wait. Yeah, right, I forgot to send it. Oops. This one is... did it. Ultimate Mayhem. Ultimate Mayhem. Unlisted. Yep. The process, my mouse is still broken. Unlisted. Oh no. 1 hour. Oh no. And yep. The achievement stuff. Yep, that's what you get from them.
Games Ball, se você está discussão da loja nova. Beleza, eu sou o Violento aqui pra conferir com vocês como está o Deca Challenge, que foi lançado já, né, na última Nintendo Direct, e é um pacote de desafios para jogos do Donkey Kong, só que fizeram de uma maneira bem diferente do negócio, sabe? Porque esse, vamos dizer, jogo, ele está disponível no Nintendo Online, e a Nintendo já lançou alguns jogos bacanas pra quem é assinante desse serviço, né? Eu tenho aqui, por exemplo, cadê? O Pac-Man 99 que durou pouco tempo, daí teve o F-Zero, do Mario também, eu acho que os outros não estão aqui nessa conta, mas enfim, lançaram alguns negócios legais, e era só você baixar e você jogava com aquilo lá mesmo, tá? Aqui no Nintendo, nesse Deca Challenge, o negócio é bem diferente. Esse aqui é apenas um pacote de desafios, e você precisa ter os jogos na sua conta e instalados pra jogar, tá bom? Então, a primeira parte são dos clássicos, né? Tá dividido aqui, o clássico e o Bonanza. Um dos clássicos é só você baixar os aplicativos do Nintendinho, do Super Nintendo e do Game Boy, que já estão inclusos na assinatura do Nintendo Online, então, teoricamente, você já tem eles, né? Se você tá jogando aí o Deca Challenge. Agora, a outra parte, que é do Donkey Kong Bonanza, aí você precisa ter o Bonanza, né? Comprar o Bonanza e ter ele instalado pra conseguir jogar os desafios. É bem interessante o que vocês fizeram isso, tá? Deixa eu mostrar aqui os clássicos, né? Que a gente vai fazendo, eu já tinha feito alguns aqui pra testar o serviço e mostrar pra vocês, né? Então a gente vai fazendo e ganhando cartinhas dos desafios. Então, essas cartinhas a gente consegue jogar de novo se quiser, tá bom? Então, esse aqui é simplesmente pra fazer a primeira fase do Donkey Kong Country, né? Você ganha essa cartinha. Outras aqui, geralmente é esse esquema mesmo, tá? Então, eles pegam jogos do Donkey Kong de várias plataformas que tem aqui e você precisa passar de uma fase. Geralmente é isso aí. Vamos pegar aqui do Donkey Kong. Esse é o raiz Donkey Kong do Nintendinho, a segunda fase do Donkey Kong. Então, ele vai fechar aqui esse aplicativo e abrir o aplicativo do Nintendinho já na fase certinha pra gente jogar. Cuidado que eu consigo fazer primeiro isso aqui, pega. Isso aqui é sacanagem. Nem precisava pegar isso. Esse martelinho não é armadilha, viu? Só que eu falei, né? Matei o fantasminha com isso. Só pra legal agora, filho. Já fez o serviço. Aí. Como é que é o negócio? Eu tenho que tirar dos dois lados lá. Acho que é isso. Voltaram um pouco. Olha só que brincanagem. Aqui, ó. Esqueci de mostrar isso aqui pra vocês. Morri, né? Então, tem o modo Nutella aqui que eu posso rebobinar o jogo, gente. Desafio, eu posso rebobinar o jogo. Isso aqui é muito bom. Então, eu rebobino. E aqui, ó. Porque ele é o mesmo emulador, tá? Que tem nos consoles clássicos lá. Ele é o mesmo emulador. Então, você segura aqui e você consegue rebobinar a qualquer hora. Rebobina. Chega a dar tempo. Isso, agora tem que. Eu queria agora acelerar, né? Não tem pra acelerar. Vai. Agora não lembro se eu tenho que tirar todos os quadradinhos, são só os que estão em volta do Donkey. Acho que são todos. Só que eu fiquei enrolando, enchendo de agora. Opa, ixi, a fantasminha presa ali. Tem que barulho esse. Tem aqui. Não. Peraí, pronto, subiu. Barulho esse. Isso aí. Tem que tirar todos os pinos dele cair. Aí, hoje tem. Desafio concluído. Aí ele sai daqui e vai a cartinha lá em cima, tá? Essa daí não é a princesa Peach, é a Paulinha. Aí peguei a cartinha, podemos ir para o próximo desafio. Iniciar, ele volta aqui pro esse aplicativo. Tem os hard aqui também, né? Tem alguma coisa diferente, esses hard. Apesar que hard com possibilidade de rebobinar não existe, né? Inclusive aqui, ó, enfrentar o King Roll. Tá louco. Vamos ver esse aqui do Game Boy fazer um negócio diferente. Atravessa as vidas para concluir a fase do canteiro de jogos. É isso aí, concluir a fase. Então, isso que eu achei que pegou um pouco, né? Não tem objetivos diferentes pra desafio. Eles só pegaram algum jogo, alguma fase, conclui a fase e acabou. Ali, caiu, voltou. Não. Eu caí, não. Você acha que eu caí? Beleza, você tá trapaceando pra fazer o desafio. Vai ali o negócio tá no jogo é pra usar, pô. Se tivesse usando cheat, não só tá no jogo é pra usar. Ele ainda sugere que a gente trapaceie. Você perde ali, ele pergunta, você quer voltar um pouco? Ele ainda dá sugestão. Então, por exemplo, né, se fosse, termina a fase, caramba, pega muito. Cuidado com o volta. Por exemplo, né, termina a fase e pegue todas as letrinhas. Opa, um negócio legal, né? Isso é uma coisa diferente, pelo menos. Mas nem pra isso. Então, sei lá, eu achei meio esquisito. Aqui essa parte dos clássicos. A parte dos clássicos, ó. A parte do Bonanza é pior ainda. Já termina aqui e mostro pra vocês. Mas as cartinhas são legais. Vocês viram ali, né? O desenho delas, o design delas é bem legalzinho. Dá vontade de colecionar, sabe? Já que é facinho mesmo, alguns desafios podem ser um pouco mais difíceis, né? Só que tem aqui pra rebobinar. Você vai levar o quê? 1 hora, mas pra fazer tudo isso. Isso foi meio pereba. Tipo assim, né? Tem que pra aqui. Que isso? Aí. Tá bom, concluímos o desafio e mais uma cartinha pra nossa coleção. Aí, ó, um render novo do Donkey Kong, né? Eu acho bem legal isso aí. Vai ter do sistema, Game Boy ali, você para o próximo desafio. Então, essa aqui é a parte dos clássicos, né? Cartinhas que eu já peguei, pra pegar as outras depois, tá? E agora a parte do Bonanza. Ele tem 25 desafios. Ele envolve fazer alguma ação depois da transformação, enfrentar os chefes, concluir algumas fases, né? Que é no estilo clássico do Donkey Kong, ou concluir algumas missões, alguns desafios que tem no jogo, tá certo? E aí, eu aperto aqui, por exemplo, eu não terminei do Donkey Kong Bonanza, eu joguei umas 2, 3 horas mais ou menos, né, do jogo só, então não fiz essas transformações, não fiz nada. Aqui, eu vou apertar em frente a Pop Kong. Se eu apertar aqui, eu vou direto pro desafio. Vamos ver lá. Iniciou Donkey Kong Bonanza. Vamos apertar nesse aqui, que é um que eu acho que eu cheguei a fazer já. Não me engano, eu cheguei a fazer esse. Então eu posso repetir, né? Ele tá aqui dando a localização, não, acho que não fiz não. Ele dá a localização, beleza, iniciar. Voltei aqui, ele me deu a localização e falou, ó, o desafio tá lá, se vira. Vai encontrar a mesma coisa para os chefes e tudo mais, né? Então, o jogo, aquele aplicativo dos desafios, não te coloca nos desafios que é pra você fazer. Ele funciona mais como uma lista de conquista, de troféu, Playstation e tal, que tem lá pra você fazer e acabou. Será que aquele... Não, acho que não é não, né? Exclamação, alguma coisa, vamos ver. Mas, como se fosse uma lista de troféus, que não tem no jogo aqui, então até que é bem lindo, né? Pra quem queria fazer o troféu do Donkey Kong Banana, tá aí a oportunidade. Só que quem já terminou o jogo vai ter que ficar voltando, abrindo de novo chefes, resetando desafios, essas coisas pra conseguir fazer. Deixa eu ver o que é isso aqui.
Meh.
Opa, ó o peixão aí. Deixa eu ver qual que é essa fase aqui. Mas não esquece o teleporte. Tá, bati aqui, ó o peixão. Aqui é tipo o teleporte. Vamos lá pra outra camada. Subcamada 200. Acho que era aqui que tinha um daqueles desafios. Pra ver de novo a lista, tem que ir, entrar aqui, e achar, é um pouco prático. Mas eu não sei, eu fiquei com a impressão que isso daqui poderia ser um beta teste, um experimento pra Nintendo colocar finalmente a lista de os troféus, né? Os conquistas. Aqui no Nintendo Switch 2, só que da maneira deles, né? A Nintendo nunca pode fazer igual aos outros. Eles têm que fazer do jeitinho Nintendo de ser. É aqui onde eu estou mesmo, só que eu preciso quebrar algumas coisas, fazer algumas outras missões ainda pra abrir o lugar daquele desafio lá pra achar o bananão. Então eu acho que é isso, né? Construção. Aparentemente, o lugar do desafio lá é debaixo dessa rocha. E eu vou precisar fazer outras coisas nesse mapa pra conseguir tirar essa rocha. Então não vou conseguir fazer o desafio agora. Tem que avançar mais o jogo pra conseguir fazer o desafio, beleza? Mas eu acho que a treta aqui mesmo é que eles não explicaram direito como que ia funcionar os desafios. Porque aqui é aquela listinha de desafio, né? Que você aperta, cai direto no lugar onde você tem que fazer e beleza e tal. E do outro lado do Bananza, ele tá mais pra uma lista de troféus, né? Que é legal também, mas ficou meio confuso, né? Eu tive que entrar por aí fora e tudo mais pra saber como que funcionava o negócio, porque a gente não tava explicando. Mas o pior de tudo é o tempo limitado, né? As cartinhas aqui são bem legais. Eu não sei como é que vai ser quando não tiver mais disponível, se vai o aplicativo todo embora, mas a gente vai, ou se o aplicativo vai ficar lá e a gente pode ver as cartinhas que a gente pegou, né? Se puder pelo menos ver as cartinhas, depois menos mal. Só que por quê, né? Um tempo tão curto ainda. De junho a setembro. Nossa, essa que eu fui campeão, hein? Volta. Nossa, a morte mais vergonhosa da minha vida. Calma aí. Isso aí, lá foi. Aí, opa, podia ter aproveitado pra pegar o barril, né? Esses aqui, os clássicos são gostosinhos. Mas quem já tem terminado lá o Bananza, também pode ir lá pegar os do Bananza, tem bastante. Assistir, tá com o jogo todo feito, fica mais fácil, né? Aí, dá pra esse. E aí? Faz um desafio concluído. Então, tá fazendo vídeo mais pra registro aí, que, né, o pessoal lança as coisas, depois tira do ar, às vezes a gente quer lembrar mais pro futuro aí, não tem conteúdo ali, então resolvi fazer, nem fazer vídeo, mas resolvi fazer só pra deixar registrado aqui. Então, esse modo de desafio estranho, esquisitão que a Nintendo lançou. Tá? Comentem pra gente, o que vocês acharam? Curtiram o que eles fizeram aqui com os clássicos? Esse do Bananza aqui novo. Vocês acham que é um teste aí, um beta teste pra uma possível lista de troféus, conquistas aí mais pra frente? Deixa no comentário pra nós, eu vou aqui, nos vemos no próximo vídeo. Falou!
Right. Mm. Mm. Mhm.
You know, I'm 20 years old. My story's pretty thin. Went through a breakup, wrote some songs about it. I was writing this breakup album, and I was kind of over the breakup at this point, but I was just so good at writing breakup songs.
I love my dirty blood. She is my dirty love. She gives me dirty head. She tucks me into bed. I want her to be my wife.
I think I had some response to a video seen on the recommended tab, but I haven't seen the video. I just ignored it. Oh, there's the response, I guess.
So like I've been making animated YouTube videos for almost
Content warning for what?
So like
Flashing,
I've been
okay.
making animated YouTube videos for almost 10 years now. And I find myself continuously asking myself why. Like, it's not like other genres are super easy to make or anything, but compared to animation, hello? I don't think people genuinely realize how difficult and time-consuming animation is, especially when your entire video is animated. Because instead of just filming myself, editing it down, adding in a couple pictures to spice things up, for some reason I'm choosing to build all of my visuals from the ground up, literally drawing thousands of pictures, which takes like 10 times the amount of time that just recording a video does. And often it'll be like this. I'll try to save some time by using some art from other videos, but then I'm like, okay, I've had this guy on screen for like 20 seconds now. I need to spice things up or the viewer will get bored. But then I listen to the audio and it's just a statement or something, and I'm like, what do I even draw here? So I kept doing this thing where I have fun for 80% of the video, and the last 20% I procrastinate procrastinate on because I have to draw a building or something. But then I was like, wait, who says I have to draw a building? Just because I'm talking about the construction of buildings in this video about the history of buildings. What if I just draw a cat? So a lot of people ask me, I want to make an animation channel. Do you have any advice? And my advice is, do whatever the hell you want. You feel like having one PNG on screen for an entire 20-minute video? Do it. You want to have fast-paced, nonsensical editing? Let's go. Get bored of the nonsensical, fast-paced editing halfway through and just want to put a single PNG on screen for the rest of the video? I celebrate your freedom of choice. Because like I see so many people who want to make animated videos and start making this masterpiece only to quit midway through because they realize, wow, doing the same thing over and over for hours on end is incredibly boring. Also, I have my job/school. I don't have time for this. The thing is, most people just want to hear what you have to say and look at some cool pictures. They don't expect you to slave away making sure every frame of your video has perfect clean lines and backgrounds and cell shading. Why are you adding backgrounds and cell shading to your story time animations? If you genuinely enjoy it, that's cool, obviously. But if you're doing it because you feel like you have to, ask yourself, whomst is actually asking you to? Is it really worth it to force yourself to do something you hate because you might get a couple more views from it? You know, people who don't want to look at a single PNG for 20 minutes can just go watch something else. There's like a billion videos on this website. I've been continuously asking myself if I'm really meant to be an animation YouTuber because it kind of doesn't fit in with my personality at all. I get bored from repetition, I'm constantly changing my mind, and I absolutely hate working on a single project for an extended amount of time, which is kind of the opposite of what making animation entails. But then I was like, wait, is it though? You know why I make videos using art and animation rather than just filming something like a normal person? Because I can put on screen literally whatever I want. I have complete control over the visuals, and that control is power. When you're not purposefully restricting yourself based on, what if the viewer gets bored because I only animated in 12 FPS instead of 684 FPS? Like, I think it's very cool if you're someone who likes to take their time with things, pay a lot of attention to detail, and show off your art skills. As long as you recognize that you're literally just one person. And I'm guessing you don't have the time or budget of a studio or really big animation YouTubers. So you gotta balance it out by expecting your masterpieces to be complete after a couple of months, maybe even years if it's that wild of a project. On the other end of the scale, if you're like me and prefer making lots of things in a short time frame, sorry, but maybe that means you have to stop fully coloring in every single frame. Like, maybe you feel poopy about not doing that, like, I could make this look so much better. But like, isn't it way cooler if the thing actually exists? You know, instead of you giving up and never finishing it because it's too much work. Did you know you are way more efficient at creating stuff if you actually have fun making it? I'm fully yelling at myself here. You have complete creative control. You can put whatever you want on the screen. People who don't like it can go watch something else. And people who do can support me on Patreon. Ha, clever segue. Look, guys, everyone else buy my game piece.
Fair enough. The better type of content we're trying to do, of course. The whole appeal is not only the visuals, though. Yeah. Oh, what? Oh, hold on. Oh, whoa. Whatever, let me check. Wait, I just...
Tricky thing is, like, let's say I'm a loser. People will say, like, oh, no, you're not a loser. But the problem is that when we think about a term like loser, we think that it's destined, that's fixed, right? So if I own that I'm a loser in this moment, I can also own that I'm someone who wants to never be a loser again. And I can own that I'm going to change myself. This is the tricky thing about being a psychiatrist is, like, you know, if someone is in a frame of mind where if you show them that they are a loser and they think that that is, loser is about the past. It is about the actions that are completed. It's not about your destiny. But some people believe that past performance is a predictor of future return. But what they say if you day trade is that past performance is not an indicator of future return. Just because a stock went up 100% over the last 5 years doesn't mean that it's going to go up 100% over the next 5. This is where I think a lot of people make a pretty big mistake, which is what's the difference between the past and the future is the actions that you take. So if you've been a loser for 10 years of your life, and what were the actions you were taking on a daily basis? If you continue to take those actions, you'll continue to be a loser. But you can change those actions, and that will change the outcome.
Basically, if you care, I've been called a loser a lot based on what people say to you. Just might as well change it. Otherwise, who cares? Whatever. What? Uh,
If you get a
Oops.
better camera while you're young, you may not have any money. You may not be able to pay your rent. You may not be able to buy food or feed your family, but at least you'll be able to enjoy it before you go. So I'm thinking, hey, everybody, how's it going? I've been all day. About 12 or 13 years ago, I did a video asking you all about getting some better equipment. I was really, really excited because I had done a few water repairs that went well, and I wanted to show everybody how to do it. So I immediately, this is my original microscope. This is the first microscope that I started doing series water repairs with. This is the microscope camera that I got for this. It's about $800 at the time. I got this expensive capture card, new computer, and new camera. And that new camera is this one right here. New. I got this thing out of 2013 or 2014. It's the Sony NEXEA50. It has a power zoom lens that has a servo on it, so you can choose 3 settings for faster, slower zooming, or you just make it manual. It has XLR inputs on the side for line and mic in. Even though this only records at 16-bit, it actually has way cleaner preamps than some very modern 24 and even 32-bit capable devices that I have used. You just don't get all the mic that you do a lot of the cheap shit nowadays that you get when you spend $2,500 for your camcorder. This is a really nice one. So I was selling this thing, auctioning it off. There's a link down below to where anybody who wants to bid on getting my original OG YouTube camera that I've taken every single legislative hearing I've recorded all across the country for years, like the one where somebody in Nebraska was talking about spectrometers and microwaves exploding, the one where I called out the lobbyists for being paid shills and they said that we were the ones that were going to make a bunch of money. They have a bunch of good memories, so we have this camera. I was auctioning this off so that I could get some better equipment to be able to do mobile live streams and different recordings with. I wanted to go around to different data centers and I wanted to think it would be pretty cool to record some of these city council hearings they have where there are residents that show up and say, why are you building polluting shit right outside my house? And I also thought it would be cool to actually figure out how polluted these areas are. I thought it would be interesting to see with my little P-Track 8525 portable camera, which is in shit away for repairs at the moment, what the actual pollution levels are like as you get closer to the areas of these crazy data centers. Maybe it's really high, maybe it's really low. I'm not sure. But while I was upgrading all this equipment, I have this kind of rule, which is I cannot buy anything new until I start getting rid of other things that I already have and selling. So I put an auction list and I have a listing and a link down below. This is going to be sold tomorrow. This recorder has been with me for almost 13 years, and after tomorrow I will never see this thing again. This is my first real camera when I started taking YouTube seriously. This thing was the shit. I remember how excited I was when I first got this thing. It was awesome. Almost every video I've done on this YouTube channel was this really cool. And tomorrow we'll figure out we'll get this really cool. And I'll say thank you. And no, because you helped fund all this other cool shit that I'm going to be getting so that I can do some really cool live streams of city council hearings, state legislature hearings all around the country. Next week I'm going to be showing up in California at the 3D printer one. The thing is, that camera that I have now is also way higher quality because I'm a cheapskate. I waited a really long time to get a better camera. And here's the thing: as you age, you get older. You also have money to get older. When you're younger, you don't have the money for a big camera. But the thing that comes out of the HDMI port of your camera actually looks better. When I first plugged this thing in, I remember looking at the screen and going, "Is that me? Oh yeah, it is." Because when I started my channel, I was 23, and this year I'm going to be turning 38. If you get a better camera while you're young, you may not have any money. You may not be able to pay your rent. You may not be able to buy food or feed your family. But at least you'll be able to enjoy it before you look old. So I'm gonna think about something. That's it for today. As always, I hope you learned something.
Somehow other suggested thumbnails got exactly one of the 3 at least. You can select which one. Well,
Have you ever called a support line and spent an hour being shuffled from agent to agent only to finally receive the oldest advice in tech? Have you tried turning it off and on again? It's so frustrating. And to make it even worse, it works. Your PC comes back from a reboot acting like it didn't do anything wrong. Well, there's a real and slightly embarrassing reason for that, which comes down to how computers manage memory. So let's unpack why the dumbest fix in computing actually works, why we still need it, and what a reboot can't fix. Computers have 2 kinds of memory. Non-volatile memory holds data even when it loses power, so it's used for persistent storage like hard drives and SSDs. Volatile memory loses its data when it loses power. However, it's much faster, making it perfect for random access memory or RAM, the temporary workspace where everything is just juggling while it runs. Think of RAM like a kitchen counter and your SSD as the fridge. When you cook, you pull what you need out of the fridge and put it on the counter so it's all in on reach. And you need more steps, you pull that out of the counter, and you put more stuff on the counter, and you run out of counter space. Now you see the problem here.
And so slowly that builds up. Now the problem is it doesn't have enough memory to store everything else. So everything starts slowing down because it wants to data. It's no longer accessible memory, so it has to get disk.
That's Ashton Gold, a professor in electrical and computer engineering at UT, and he's talking about swapping. When you just need the piece of data it actually needs right now, but can't find room for it in RAM, it offloads to your storage drive instead, using some of your SD or hard drive as temporary memory. It's a clever workaround, but an imperfect one, because accessing RAM is much faster than accessing a drive. So your PC slows down. Now, all of this can be avoided if every program did what it was supposed to and released its hold on memory that's no longer using. Unfortunately, many programs hold on to it instead, making it seem like the swimming pool that is your available memory has sprung a leak, which is why we call this issue a memory leak. And one of the main reasons they occur is because a ton of PC software, including web browsers, Chrome, operating systems, Windows, are written in low-level programming languages. These give programmers more direct access to the hardware, but often don't have automatic memory management built in, which leaves things like Chrome continually inhaling more RAM instead of freeing some up from the tabs that you have already closed. Let it go. But while everyone points fingers at Chrome or Windows, one culprit that flies under the radar is your third-party hardware drivers. Ugly ones can quietly leak memory the entire time the PC is running.
The drivers are written by third-party vendors, and so they don't go to the same level of reliability analysis, testing, and verification as the core operating system. Microsoft is complaining that we have all these crashes. We're not responsible for them. The core operating system wasn't really a problem generally because the drivers had bugs in them. The bugs are partly because the drivers were perhaps not well tested, but also because the hardware testing and the software was not accounting for that enough.
You know, something makes more sense when Microsoft is on their AI villain part right now. They get blamed for a printer driver face-planting the whole system, while their golden child sibling gets away with keeping 40 tabs open since the Obama administration, and somehow never need a reboot. We'll find out how after you find out. Well, maybe people won't admit it, phones are computers too, but they don't seem to need a reboot nearly as often as desktops and laptops. The reason why is kind of complicated, but it essentially boils down to the software platform they're built on. For Android, that's Java, and it's got something called a garbage collector. It's software baked into the platform that automatically reclaims memory once it's not using it anymore. Think of it like living with your mom. She's a very nice mom, and every couple hours she silently tidies your room, and you are a horrible child. You never notice. iOS does not use the same kind of garbage collection. It has a different memory management feature called automatic reference counting, which macOS also adopted back in 2012. Although macOS actually OS 10, 10.something. The point is that these mobile operating systems lean hard on automatic memory management and aggressively clear out apps that you're not using. Where Windows is a lot more hands-off, letting programs hang around and slowly hog memory until you reboot. Why? Well, other than the programming language issues that we mentioned previously, having a feature like that constantly running in the background causes performance. And the people behind Windows apparently decided that squeezing out a few extra frames was worth dealing with Chrome crashing every once in a while and needing to reboot your PC more often. Because what happens to your PC's memory when you reboot? Well, it gets wiped clean. Tabula rasa. It's the whole reason that ancient device actually works. You got PC problems? Just reboot until the cows come home. It's fun. The problem is rebooting is kind of annoying, especially when your PC decides now is the perfect time to apply that huge new update. Hope you didn't have anything else scheduled. Thankfully, some developers came up with a couple methods for reboot production. The first is the micro reboot.
The key idea in all these things is compartmentalize them. So you can modularize the software and ensure that the different modules don't interact with the modules except through their channels. That allows you to potentially recover by maybe rebooting just a module instead of rebooting the whole system.
You almost definitely live through a micro reboot without even noticing it. So when a web page can crash and reload itself, well, every other tab just keeps on hand reroll it. In most browsers, each tab is walled off as its own little process. So the browser can quietly kill and reload one crashed tab instead of taking the whole window down with it. And your OS pulls the same trick, restarting a crash service in the background instead of writing the entire machine down. The second fix is the programming language Rust, which unlike older languages will catch many memory bugs before your program ever runs, kinds that cause crashes and corrupted data. In fact, in the most annoyingly helpful way, it'll flat out refuse to compile until you fix it. Thank you. Rust is basically C++. It went to therapy, did the work, and couldn't stop telling you about it. Another wrong idea. Despite all of these clever workarounds, the humble reboot isn't going anywhere. It'll always be there, clear out leaked memory and corrupted data sitting in your RAM. It's not magic, and there's many kinds of damage it can't heal. But as a first step in your troubleshooting process, it's still kind of no-brainer. So next time someone tells you to turn it off now again, don't roll your eyes. Just reboot. And speaking of RAM, if you want to learn about time where memory cycles went down completely or back, go check out our video on RDRAM. It is a wild look at a timeline we nearly dodged. Your RAM money. Something's going to go to RAM. Like it's found out.
what? Mm. Okay.
You know what I'm talking about. If you
What?
You know, I'm just, I don't care. Some of y'all troublemakers, but I ain't mad though. If you've heard sentences like these, you've witnessed a language inventing a brand new way to say no right now in real time. And linguists have a name for what's happening. Let's get into it. If you're new to the channel, my name's Dr. Taylor Jones, and on the channel I discuss everything related to language, linguistics, language learning, and culture. If you're interested in those topics, be sure to hit subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. I'm Dr. Taylor Jones, and this is Language Jones. Before we go anywhere, we need to clear something up. I'm tired of having to say this, but it's basically my whole job. The variety of English we're talking about is African American English, AAE, sometimes called AAV, the V is for vernacular. I'm co-authoring the descriptive grammar of this variety with Hiram Smith and DeAndre Esprit Conway, and in that work, we call it Black English. But whatever you call it, here's the key fact. It is not broken, it is not lazy, it is not incorrect English. That's a myth. It's a myth with a lot of social baggage attached to it. It's not borne out by the empirical scientific study of language. Every naturally spoken language and dialect has its own consistent grammar, its own internal rules that speakers follow without even thinking about it. Black English has been studied by linguists for decades, and it is every bit as systematic and rule governed as so-called standard English. The differences aren't errors, they're just different rules, and you can make an error following those rules. So here's a quick example everybody gets wrong. So-called double negatives, like I don't know nothing. Your high school English teacher might have told you that that's incorrect because two negatives make a positive. Of course, that one was 3, so I guess we're back in negatives. Anyway, here's the thing. That two negatives make a positive thing is a rule about multiplying numbers. There's no law of the universe that says that language has to work like arithmetic. Plenty of the world's languages, French, Spanish, Italian, Russian, treat negation as something the whole sentence agrees on. Where if one thing is negative, anything else that can be is. Linguists call it negative concord or negative agreement. Black English does it too, just like French, the language that builds itself as the language of thought, philosophy, and inventive swearing. Double negation is not bad logic, it's just a different grammar. Remember that because negation is exactly what today's paper is about. So a few years back, I'm like a decade ago at this point, I noticed across social media and in speech, Black English speakers using a word that gets spelled eem or een, and pronounced roughly like a long nasal een. So I gathered data from everywhere. Social linguistics, interviews, television, movies, music, and a lot of Twitter. Back when you could use Twitter. The song You Don't Even Know is in it. You Don't Even Know It is packed with this. Don't even know. Childish Gambino uses it too. So where does een come from? Undoubtedly from the word even. Say even, fast, and casually. Even you can hear how it erodes down to just een. That's a normal kind of reduction in a. The same way 7 can become something like 7. But here's a twist, and this is at the heart of the paper. Een is not just a fast speech phonological reduction, a lazy pronunciation of even anymore. It started doing a job that plain even doesn't do. It's taken on more function, marking negation. And to see why that's such a big deal, we need a few more concepts. All right, so concept 1, polarity items. Some words are picky about what kind of sentence they appear in. Take the English word any. You can say I didn't see anybody there, but you can't say I saw anybody there. Any needs a negative or negative-ish environment to appear. Words like that are called negative polarity items or NPIs. Other examples are ever, yet, anymore, or the phrase so much as lifted a finger. He didn't lift a finger is fine. He so much as lifted a finger, meaning he helped, sounds busted. There are also positive polarity items, words that prefer the opposite, a plain positive sentence. Some and already lean this way. I already ate feels natural, while I didn't already eat feels soft. The point is these words act like little detectives. They only switch on in the right kind of environment. And remember this, een behaves like a negative polarity. It only shows up in a specific kind of neighborhood, which brings us to the most important foundational idea in the whole paper. Concept 2, non-veridicality. It's a big word, but it's a simple idea. A sentence is veridical if it commits you to something actually being true. Jamal was at the party. Said plainly that asserts it really happened. The context is non-veridical if it doesn't commit you to the truth of it. You're not asserting it happened. Negation is the obvious case. Jamal wasn't at the party. Doesn't commit you to him being at the party. But negation isn't the only one. You got questions. Was Jamal at the party? Conditionals. If Jamal was at the party. Futures. Jamal will be at the party. And before clauses. He stopped before I noticed. He stopped before I noticed. Doesn't assert that I noticed. Now here's the crucial piece. Een is only allowed in non-veridical environments. That's the rule. So you get I don't know. Fine. Negation. You get he stopped before I noticed. Fine. Before clause. All non-veridical. But the moment you try to drop een into a plain positive veridical sentence, it breaks. You can't say een Jamal was at the party. No. 2, 4, and 6 are all een numbers. No. Native speakers don't say those. When I did find the occasional een in a positive sentence, it was almost always from non-native users who had seen an een equals even post online. So een is acting exactly like a negative polarity. I'm switching on only in those non-veridical negative flavored neighborhoods. But this is what's so interesting about it. In a lot of cases, een isn't just hanging around the negation. It's starting to be the negation. To understand that shift, we need 2 last ideas. Grammaticalization is a process where an ordinary word, one of its own full meaning, slowly gets worn down and repurposed into a piece of your grammar. It happens constantly. English gun is the example that I like to use. It came from going to, a phrase about physically traveling somewhere. And it became a plain marker of the future. Going to the store versus going to eat. That second one isn't about going anywhere. A meaning word became a function word. There was some phonological reduction too, just like with een and even. And notice you can say I'm going to the store, and you can say I'm going to eat, and you can say I'm going to eat. But you can't say I'm going to the store. The argument is that een is doing this, drifting from the meaning word even into a grammatical marker of negation. And it's feeding into another kind of drift. And the pattern that drift is following has a name, Jespersen cycle, named after the Danish linguist Otto Jespersen, who described it in 1917. It's weird that the guy famous for studying negation is literally named Jespersen, but linguistics has always had an ironic sense of humor. He noticed that languages enter a cycle how they say no in a repeating predictable pattern in stages. Stage 1, you've got one little negative word. Over time, it gets weak, short, unstressed, easy to miss. Stage 2, because it feels too weak, speakers reinforce it with an extra word for emphasis. I didn't walk a step, I didn't drink a drop. That reinforcing word is so common that kids learning the language treat it as required. Now 2 words are doing the negative job at once. Stage 4, the original negative word starts feeling optional and eventually drops out entirely. The new word, the one that started as mere emphasis, is now the only way to say no. And then the cycle can start over. The textbook example is French. Classic French negates with 2 pieces, n and ba. Ba originally meant a step, pure emphasis, not a step. Over time it became required, and in casual modern French, people often drop the original n and just use English just 2 centuries ago. I ne say not, I say not, I do not say. If you just felt the click of those 4 ideas snapping together, that feeling is linguistics. It's the whole reason I built my intro course, which starts from 0 and gets you here. Links in the description if you want it. Wait, this is open. Okay, back to een because this is where it gets really good. Here's where it all comes together. I found AE speakers that look like different stages of the cycle all at once, and the example sentences line up beautifully. And all at once is kind of what we should expect from a functional typological perspective. Some speakers reinforce the negation with both the negative and een, and even I didn't even feel it. I don't like it. That's belt and suspenders negation, the classic look of an in progress cycle. It's not a technical name for it. That's just too much. Other speakers negate with een alone. No, don't, no, ain't, nothing else. You also troublemakers with I am mad though. I'm the shit. I ain't care. Or one of my absolute favorite example sentences to make it into an academic paper. Irony is, in most states, strippers can't even get naked. They literally dance in bathing suits, racking the fuck up. That is, they can't get naked and they're making a lot of money despite being in bathing suits, not fully stripped. The point is that the context makes it very clear. It's not they can even get naked because then the following explanation, they're making money despite being in bathing suits, makes literally no sense. Don't even make sense. So the only thing making them negative is the een. That's the key observation of the whole paper. For these speakers, een has changed from appearing around negation to being the negation. At least sometimes one strategy of negation. Some speakers do something wild. They use een as the sole negation, then reinforce it with even all over it. I'm act like I didn't even read that. I'm going to act like I didn't even read that. You don't even know. You don't even know. That last pattern feels familiar. A new negative marker that itself starts getting reinforced. That's the cycle potentially kicking off another lap. Now I have my theories about why this could happen, especially in writing, which boil down to phonological similarity between a strongly reduced een and even een. But this at least suggests that for some people some of those een's might have been reanalyzed as een. In the paper, I argue that this is a genuinely unusual find for a few reasons. First, the time. Normally, linguists study the Jespersen cycle by digging through centuries-old documents, reconstructing a change that finished long ago. With een, we may be catching the cycle live. Twitter alone produces tens of thousands of een tokens a month. I point out in the paper that this might be the first time in history we can watch this kind of change in real time. Second, it's messier than the textbook version, but in a good way. Classic Jespersen cycle moves one word before the verb and one after. Here the pieces are both in front of the verb. And rather than a tidy one stage at a time march, all the stages are coexisting at the same time in different speakers and different regions and different sentences competing. That competition is exactly what modern data-driven models of language change predict, and it fits nicely with what we'd expect from the approaches I've been into lately. Croft, Spivey, and all those folks. The original working paper was written while I was at Penn, still in the cult of Chomsky, trying to prove my bona fides, paterfamilias. I am the damn paterfamilias.
But you ain't bona fide.
So I talk about reanalysis of the tree, but that's just a notational variant anyway. See my video on how everything I was wrong. I'll link that one at the end. So why should you care about one nasal vowel? The answer is because it's a window into something found. Language change isn't something that only happened in the past in dusty manuscripts. It's happening right now in the mouths of living people, often in communities whose speech gets unfairly dismissed as incorrect. Een might catch on and become a permanent standard part of Black English grammar. Or might fizzle out. Plenty of changes do. We don't know yet. But the fact that we can watch a language potentially reinvent a word for no or not in real time is the kind of thing that makes linguistics genuinely thrilling. And it's one more piece of evidence that Black English isn't a degraded version of anything. It's a full, living, evolving language system doing what languages do, innovating right under our noses the same way that French did. One step, one ba at a time. Everything we just did, the validity, the rules, the life change is exactly what we're putting into a full descriptive grammar of Black English. Not a style guide telling people how to talk. A real grammar documenting how the language actually works. It's in progress, and there's a waitlist link below if you want first access. I'll point you to the original paper below because there's examples in there that I didn't even talk about yet. Thanks for watching. Happy learning.
Welcome back to Slop Live. Today's Slop, you've probably been seeing me cover the increased insanity of GTA 6 fans, including a guy who was supposedly counting cigarettes outside Rockstar offices and tracking oxygen levels, saying a new trailer for the game was coming soon. Well, I guess he was actually kind of right. Rockstar releasing a 30-second trailer showing off the official cover art. Yes, that's all that was in the trailer and it got 7 million views. Also announcing pre-orders would open on June the 25th. There was also an 8-second video released as well of a quick pan of the city. And while the spun hype and finally getting a crumb of news, quite a few GTA 6 fans were quick to immediately complain on Reddit with things such as complaining about the window parallax or zooming in to complain that there was a floating light in the background. Or people also complaining that some of the interiors of the building looked unfinished and didn't look like you could enter them. Fans really think you're going to be able to enter every single room in the game. And probably the funniest one saying there's a mistake with the GTA 6 cover, saying the gator on the cover only has 60 teeth, and they've gone through and counted and numbered every single individual tooth, saying something seemed off with the number of teeth the gator on the cover had, so I did a count and it seems the gator has 60 teeth. However, alligators normally have 74 to 80 teeth, so this is way below the normal amount. Was this a mistake, or could it potentially have a meaning? No, I think it's probably just a stylized cover up. But maybe some of these Redditors are right. I think they should probably delay GTA 6 another year at least until they fix some of these glaring issues. I think we can all agree we can all wait a bit longer. So yeah, I guess the guy really was right, which also probably means Rockstar Games definitely got it. Thanks for slopping by.
Hey, you play video games? Best video game of all time. Nah, Smash, if you didn't play Smash, Dragon Ball. Hey, you play video games? Best video game of all time. Nah, Smash, if you didn't play Smash, Dragon Ball Fighters Z.
Esse negócio verde na boca do jogador do Canadá que tu aperta. Parece um vape? Como assim? Na verdade, pessoal, não sei se vocês viram, mas esse é um apito verde, que tem um analgésico inalável dentro. O nome é apito verde mesmo, que tem metoxifurano, não é vape. A lesão do Conner foi feia, e apesar de não ter chorado, ele provavelmente estava sentindo muita dor. Nesses casos de emergência, uma das formas mais rápidas de entregar um analgésico é através da inalação. O princípio ativo do medicamento já entra no pulmão direto, tem uma área de absorção enorme e contato direto com a corrente sanguínea. Aí o efeito do remédio acontece em poucos minutos. Além disso, não precisa de agulha no meio do gramado. O próprio jogador pode controlar a dose se estiver doendo muito. E se precisar de mais, ele só respira de novo. Esse analgésico ainda não é tão potente quanto o analgésico injetável usado em hospitais, mas é capaz de aliviar a dor no momento e sumir logo depois do organismo, sem se misturar com outros medicamentos que o jogador provavelmente teria tomado no hospital. Agora me conta, você também achou que era vape? Se você aprendeu pela primeira vez aqui, compartilha e diga. Olá, ciência.
Hold on. This is gonna get weird.
Bom dia.
Bom dia, desgraça.
Eu sou o novo carrinho. Me chamo Jaininho.
E daí, o que você quer?
Eu tenho uma carta do senhor.
Chegou uma carta pra mim.
Sim, eu não.
Me dá, onde está?
Então, pode procurar. Procura aí dentro.
Que é isso? Que é isso?
É que eu quero evitar a fadiga.
De qualquer maneira, muito obrigado.
Ai. Eita, isso é jeito de papel chato.
Foi sem querer querendo.
Chaves, vê se presta atenção no que faz.
É que não podia ver porque eu estava trazendo a caixa da frente.
Com licença, sim? Eu vou porque eu tenho muitas cartas pra entregar.
Muito obrigado. Mas que diabo está fazendo aqui, Chaves?
Eu vim vender garrafas.
Deixa eu pensar. Muito bom, muito bom. Pra você não dizer que eu não sou agente, eu vou te comprar todas as garrafas por 40 centavos.
Por todas as garrafas?
Isso.
Não posso, tem muita despesa.
E quanto custa todas as garrafas? 50. Sim, 50. 50 mangos? Você tá ficando louco ou o quê?
É com esse negócio dos energúmenos.
Energético.
Isso.
Olha, Chaves, eu tomo uma nota de 10 mangos, que é tudo que eu tenho.
Agora sim tô fazendo negocião. Bom dia, Del Madruga.
O que você quer, desgraça?
Quero muito, mas muito chocolate e todas aquelas delícias de festa.
Eu tomo 60 mangos.
Chama toda aqui, vende chocolate, por favor.
O chocolate custa 14 mangos.
É que eu só tenho um prato.
Tem muito Chaves, mas nada feito.
Mas eu tô com fome.
Olha o que é isso, Chaves, tá morrendo de fome. Será que não pode aguentar nem mais um minutinho?
É que faz anos que eu tô aguentando.
Seu Madruga fica com uma garganta. Faça uma coisa, Chaves, pode ficar com ele. Eu só faço isso pra ajudar você.
Obrigado, seu Madruga.
Olá, seu Madruga.
Oi, dona Clotilde, até que não havia.
Bom, é que viveram parentes mais velhos que eu tenho.
E não tem medo de múmia? O que você quer?
Eu suponho, seu Madruga, que o senhor já tenha lido o ratão dos namorados que eu dei pra você.
Tem uma carta do senhor?
Ah, é mesmo, eu já não me lembrava. E muito obrigado, hein?
Sim, eu compreendo. Eu vim aqui só pra comprar uma vassoura.
Só lhe cobro 20.
Amanhã mesmo vou voltar voando para o interior.
Voando?
Eu quero dizer que é sem perda de tempo.
De forma alguma que fracionar a garrafa sua e sair
Como? Melhor não dizer nada, com licença.
Tem toda. Olha, meu carro sai fora, porque aqui é planilha. Sim, é muito prazer. O que foi que aconteceu? Eu preciso de um mecânico para meu carro estar fora. Ah, sim, como não? Certamente eu poderia ajudar você. Ora, vejam só, que maravilha. É, sabe, eu costumo cobrar o trabalho para tentar. Eu que seja desconfiado, mas atores vemos, costumes não sabemos, né? Então, tá tentado. Cada uma. Acho que agora vou. Isso vai ser fácil, tanto rapidinho. É só dar uma batidinha. Vamos, pode ligar, vai. Agora é só sair mais um pouco. O senhor não sabe quanto eu lhe agradeço. Pelo menos para isso as aulas de mecânico me serviram. Nossa, tira planilha. Eu vou embora, porque eu não aguento mais. Churros.
Eu estou aqui. Está pedindo que essa ambulância chega nunca. Ah, ambulância americana. O que é isso aqui?
Hey, y'all, we've been teasing a project that we've been working on, which is Love Maxing with Dr. K. It's a series of
Oh my
interviews
gosh.
where we go back to talking to ordinary people about what it's like to date in today's world. We just released Dr. K's Guide to Love, Sex, and Relationships, which is fantastic. It's comprehensive, it's evidence-based. We dig into the science behind charisma, communication, and chemistry, but there's something missing from this kind of approach, which is like what it's actually like to date in today's world. And one of the things that I notice is just missing in the world today is lots of people will give advice about date. We'll talk about date, but we don't talk to ordinary people about what it's actually like to date. And that's why we launched this series, because as a psychiatrist, I've learned the most from actually talking to people about what they struggle with. And what I really loved about doing these interviews is how much I learned about how the common wisdom doesn't work for real.
Hold on. I'll be fixing it soon enough. Actually. I had the link here. I cannot just enable VPN or while I have these things to upload it. So, yeah. Some from here.
This is how much I learned about how the common wisdom doesn't work for real people. For example, you can have a decent job, be career-oriented, over 6 feet tall, and good-looking, and still struggle to date. Checking those boxes doesn't automatically make everything easy. You can also be a woman. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Another thing is, you can be a woman, and shocking, it's not easy to date. You can be a woman who is career-oriented, compassionate, caring, and it can still be challenging to date. And that's what I really miss about doing interviews. When we started this channel, for those of you guys that used to watch us many years ago, we did a lot of interviews with regular people, and we do some interviews with creators and stuff now. But let's be honest, doing interviews with creators about dating is like a whole different ballgame. I mean, these people have 5 million followers, they make sometimes millions of dollars a year, they have parasocial relationships, and so interviewing a creator about dating, I don't think is actually helpful to you or me. I guess arguably I'm a creator, but I'm not dating. We wanted to get back to interviewing regular people, and I want to talk about that for a second. So interviewing regular people used to be totally fine, but then things got weird for us. People started to develop parasocial relationships. They started to show up thinking, oh my God, Dr. K is the only person that can help me. And I've always enjoyed talking to regular people, but then we also ran into another problem of doing live streamed interviews. So these interviews are done in a studio because we're talking about dating, sex, relationships, and we gave every participant the opportunity to say, hey, actually, can you guys cut this because I don't want this to see the light of day. And so these interviews are done in a studio with regular people who are struggling to date, and we learned so much. I hope you guys really enjoy it. It's Love Maxing with Dr. K. The first episode drops this Saturday, and it's a 3-part series that's going to be released over the course of a week. So for all the OG HG fans, interviews are back, baby. And for those of y'all that are new, I hope y'all enjoy.
Maybe. Love mixing. Yep. I may have to wait it out until I get to enable the VPN again. Yeah. Or maybe, I don't know, I just play from the browser itself. We'll see.
Oh, we got a packed couch here. We usually choose against it to get a little too rowdy. Yeah, it's a little chaotic. You know what? We're gonna play Life of Black Tiger games. Play one game. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is like PS demo disc right here. We are the Black Tiger. Let's follow human. Let's follow human. This might be the worst. This is the worst of all. This is kind of a newer game. The worst ever. No, it's within the past.
PS2 demo disc right here.
We are the Black Tiger. Let's follow human.
Let's follow human.
Oh, he has cuts on his sides.
This might be the worst.
This is really bad.
This might be the worst of them all.
I think this is kind of a newer game too.
This would be the worst ever.
No, it's within the past. It's 10 years
It's
old.
not
I feel like
running.
if you look at other
I was
2016
supposed to
games,
run,
it's
you
better
can't
than
run.
I feel like
Have you ever seen Mighty Number 9, Dom?
there was a run button, I'm pretty sure.
I'm running.
That's
that
running.
can't be the one.
What's the not running? Oh,
That-
boy.
oh my
God. Oh, boy.
All right.
Mission.
Well, we'll retry.
3 seconds, huh? Oh, that's a good tip.
Pretty cool.
I love the broken English at every possible moment.
What do you mean? 0 out of 5? That's correct grammatically.
All right.
There we
PS4.
go.
You got the
Not even
dog. This is the
PS2.
That is
God
not
damn it.
human.
Wait, but it counted as human.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Carry him around. It's your trophy.
Jesus.
Now show the wife. Show
My
the
gosh.
wife.
You didn't have a spear. You're good.
That's
Kill her anyway.
Oh,
Jesus.
That was cool.
Mission
It was,
success.
no, it
You
was
got
made to be
same
bad.
trophy or-
There's no way it was
was
supposed to
better
be a
that
serious game.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're slowly learning.
That was better. Oh, more story.
I'm alone now. I was alone and will be alone. But I'm not lonely because I should search for new game to see their red blood today. Hey man, you should have a Snickers. You aren't you when you're hungry.
That's kind of a cute picture. Just wait.
There's
a lot of good wallpapers here. Looks pretty.
It's like a reaction gif. Like a reaction image.
These things have happened again and again.
reaction
with the title, that's good. With the subtitle, that's good.
Pop that in the group chat when somebody's asking to go to the bar.
The same. These things happen again and again.
Can do.
Toast and eat them. Pretty self-explanatory. Yeah. You know, this game likes to be clear. Hey, you can't get lost playing this game. I'll say that.
How do you make him?
That's pretty messed up what you're doing.
That's really
fucked up.
Make him bleed a lot.
Now you've gotten all of the blood out. That can't be particularly
Animal upgrade.
ability to eat.
Oh, oh, I can be squirrel?
What?
Oh, well, we gotta get the squirrel.
This game got a lot cooler.
I don't know what my eat button is.
Oh, that whatever that is. That's gotta be it.
I hit the touchpad.
That makes this is a long sense, and that's a very long eat animation. My God. Okay.
All right, it worked though.
All right, I'm ready. Justin, you just bought a lot of exotic meats.
Yeah, I did.
What's your plan for those?
Silly wolves are running in my area.
I cook up all these ground meats, and I make you guys guess what they are. If you guess wrong, you guys have to stick your hands in like a tub of smelly goo.
Okay.
What is the goo?
Do you also get to make the goo?
I'll make the goo. The goo probably won't be food safe.
I thought you eat the goo.
No, don't. I would definitely say don't eat the goo.
It's just like a punishment.
Yeah, it's a punishment to make it harder to guess the next round of meat.
I don't know how they make it harder.
I think it's just there's more on the line, so you really want to make sure you get it right.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants their hand in smelly goo.
Covered in
Dom.
goo.
I thought that's not that bad.
You can't rinse it off in between
entire
rounds.
game.
Severe allergic reaction to the goo as well.
I hope not. Yeah, I'll get everybody like allergic to list.
allergy panel before.
Yeah.
What if your allergy is just straight up goo?
Then you're not
It's
playing.
one, there's one thing in the goo is something everybody's allergic to. Like so no matter what, you're gonna have a reaction.
Did you get the goo ready? Do you have ideas?
I haven't yet, but I will.
Do you make
that.
goo often?
No, but I feel like it can't be that hard. Like,
Do you know what to do to make goo?
What's the main
goo is like
recipe of goo?
Are you gonna 3D print it with your 3D printer?
I'll probably add a little bit of plastic to it. Plastic goo. And you guys will all guess, and then it'll be funny because like I just imagine you guys taking a bite, getting it wrong, and then as you guys lift your hands up, it's just like oh shit. The looks on your guys' faces, and then you start gagging. It smells so
Does the
bad.
goo's that bad?
Yeah.
What do you put the goo to make it smell that bad?
I'll probably leave it out in the sun for a day. And put like food in it.
You should like meats.
Yeah.
Milk. Put milk in it.
Milk and
meats.
meats.
Oh yeah, that's milk out in the sun.
Yeah.
I'll make goo like normal.
Yeah, we know you're gonna be in the
Like a bunch
normal recipe.
a bunch of cornstarch too, so it's nice and thick.
What is normal goo?
Just
You know,
the original recipe.
regular goo, like not like crazy goo.
Yeah, homemade. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll put milk and.
But you know, you're gonna.
lettuce.
I think it's gonna smell bad regardless if it's on your hands or not. It's gonna smell bad for the whole.
I'll put a lid on it.
Oh, okay.
Lid comes off. You dip your hands in.
You dig your hands in.
You guys all start throwing up. I put the lid on. The other round of meat.
Is it just bad smelling goo, or is it?
I think what set it off was I had a.
Ow.
I think what set it off was I had a.
Were you making goo last night?
Yeah, like my goo was bad.
I feel like this is a great video idea.
No, I just had some dirty dishes in the sink and it smelled kind of funny. I was like, what if it was gooey and it was a game? What if I made my friends deal with this and not me? My idea originally was to do the meat guessing game, but do like
Tired of wolves.
do like a, shoot you guys with either like a Nerf gun or like an airsoft gun, but like something in between those two. Airsoft gun would be too much. Nerf gun
that's a big
is too
gap,
soft. Yeah, but like what's in between those?
What
two?
about
Nail gun.
perfect middle ground? What's that thing that shoots Orbeez?
The gun that does that?
A t-shirt cannon.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, like, shoot you with a t-shirt can.
That's pretty good. Up close, just on the back.
Yeah, like 5 inches away.
I don't think that's the deer they want you to get.
What else? What other deer is there?
There's an arrow pointing the other way.
Oh,
Get
yeah,
it anyway though.
might as well
Maybe
get
a
it.
bonus deer.
Yeah, I think they throw in 1 bonus deer per level.
A true lion doesn't care about what is a bonus game, what's not. Oh, it's still counted.
When he's right, he's right.
Wait, to the right, to the right.
To the right, to the
Right,
right.
to the left, to the left, to the right, to the right,
to the right, to the right, to the right.
Do you see it?
Look at your
See all
map.
the arrows?
Oh.
No,
Here I go.
To the right,
To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right.
Right, no.
Just go to the arrows, whatever you want.
Look, you see the mini-map in the
The
top
mini
right?
map that shows the 3 wolves like right next to you. Okay.
Where are these wolves?
The red thing.
Right there.
Go that way.
They're not within 5 feet yet.
Straight. Yeah, there's wolves in those grass.
They're all about.
Hey Dominic, I want to tell you about a new little gag me, Sam and Eric have that I
Okay.
told Justin about, and I haven't told anybody else about. Okay.
Run it.
All right. On the road to Chicago. On the road from Chicago. All right. We now have a new thing. Singing things to the tune of "We're Not Gonna Take It," and we saw Burger King was coming up. So
I'm listening. Like fill in the gaps. Dom, fill in the gaps.
yeah, fill in the gaps. What is it?
What happened here?
Yeah, what would be the logical next step? Like to the tune of
We're not gonna take it.
No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. All right, but it's about BK.
We're not gonna BK.
No.
We like PK though.
We really want BK. That's the point of the song.
It comes to the rest stops and we want it.
Yeah, we were.
do you chant in
It
the car?
was one of the only things available on the Turnpike rest stops, and we wanted BK.
What do you chant in the car? To the tune of that.
All right, guys, are you ready?
BK?
On 3, 1, 2, 3. Give me fucking BK. Yeah, I want fucking BK.
All the lyrics.
Give me fucking BK right now.
Now picture that for like 3 straight hours. That was basically the ride home from Chicago.
Listen, intermissions, but
Yeah, there were slight intermissions,
Only Burger King, or
Well, we finally got to a rest stop.
and then nobody got.
We did not get Burger King.
was it there?
yeah, yes, yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
First thing on the
Give me fucking BK. Yeah, I want fucking BK. Give me fucking BK right now.
We got anti-ants.
Now we were also talking about another thing about somebody that we all know. All right, there's a name of somebody that we all know that we can't say on camera. But we started singing another song like that. But you can just use any syllables of people. So let's say Eric Turney.
Okay.
His name's Eric Turney.
Oh, okay, same song.
Yeah, his name's Eric Turney. His name's Eric Turney. Oh yeah.
That's you say we have nothing else to say.
Yeah, when you have nothing else to say about somebody,
nothing-
you just sing that.
Nothing further to add. You just say, "Oh yeah."
Did we ever find out who the second person was that you ran into?
Yeah,
We did?
I told everybody else.
Can you tell me?
Later. We're in the middle of filming a video, Dominic.
Yeah, and Justin just can't be talking about random people we saw at high school that he saw at a bar.
Yeah, we can't be giving people freaking shout-outs. They don't deserve it. They didn't
Shout him out right now, Justin.
Shout out.
Censor all that. All right, I don't know where these other two.
There's arrows.
Don't eat that thing out of your mouth.
I think the wolf.
Maybe hold that thing for
Eat the wolf.
minutes.
Eat the wolf for health.
You've been holding that thing for a while. That's a good idea.
Why am I getting all single?
Yeah,
Fucking vicious. I don't get it.
Eat that thing for health right now.
Oh yeah. Well, Dominic, have you ever been to Chicago?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been?
Oh yeah. I just wonder because technically, when me and Eric and Sam recently went, that was the first time Eric's ever seen a bean.
Seriously?
Anytime seen any bean, lima or otherwise.
Yep.
I mean,
Let me tell you, they're only small from here.
And we went to Chicago with Justin before, so he saw a bean. And I just didn't know if we'd have to show you a bean if we'd ever go to Chicago with you.
Did Eric like the bean?
That's cool.
Hit or miss.
He didn't really care, honestly. His reaction was a little lesser than I thought it was going to be.
You figured he's gonna jump on and ride the bean or something?
I thought he was going to shout, "Oh shit!" And all he was, "Huh."
You guys went, yo.
Yeah, and then he walked up to it. He took a whiff, and then he
Huge the bean.
He did get close. I don't know if
he
he's afraid.
sniffed the bean.
He sniffed every side of the bean.
Survive till the fixed time.
Oh, wow.
Oh, jeez.
Run.
A lot of wolves. One of them is
Survive till the
huge.
fixed
Oh,
time.
you can't run. I need to run around.
Yeah, survive till the fixed time.
Survive Survive till the fixed time. Oh, 65.
Now sing it again.
Survive till the fixed time. Yeah, survive till the fixed time. Survive till the fixed time. Time 154.
Yo, this is like a fucking big bad wolf, right?
That's either a dire wolf or a werewolf. I could believe either one.
Do you think there's an actual realm where Goldilocks would... No, it was Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
Yo, do you think they ever met each other?
Goldilocks and Little Red?
Yeah.
They probably crossed over.
Same universe for
Probably
sure.
crossed paths for show.
But do you really think there's an actual realm where a wolf
real-life
could
world?
pose as a grandmother?
Bro, yes.
Have you seen very grandmother-like wolves out there?
We're in that now.
That's this one. Yeah, we're looking
Have you seen wolves these days, bro?
Have you seen grandmothers?
They're looking more wolf-like by the minute. Do you want to be a werewolf?
Yeah.
No.
You remember that movie Hoodwinked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little Red and the goat. I love the goat in that movie.
What was cool about the goat?
I don't remember.
He was cursed where he had he always had to sing.
Oh,
That
was pretty cool.
Oh my god, that's a pack. Hold on.
Oh, it's so good.
This game is just like one youth rack.
No, we got him already, Eric. Sing it.
Survive till the fixed time. Yeah, survive till the fixed time. Survive till the fixed time. 9.
Well, Dominic,
Yeah.
so you've been to Chicago before.
Oh, yeah.
Do you like Chicago?
Yeah, it's fine. Okay. It's been 7 years since I'm gone, probably.
7 years, and you
What?
saw a bean?
Yeah, the bean's been there forever. It's been there. How long has the bean been there, do you think?
Oh, this pod does not work.
250.
It doesn't pause the game.
Yeah, when they made the Americas, they
That's the first thing they put.
When they made the Americas?
That was the first thing they built.
because it was not naturally made.
On the first page, the
No,
Constitution
that was
need a bean.
That's not a real bean. That's a man-made bean.
Yeah, when Thomas Edison fucking signed the Declaration of Dependence, he fucking said, and let them eat cake.
Chicago's the home of beans.
Bean City.
Bean City.
Bean
Yeah.
City.
I didn't see a single fucking bean there.
Not to be
I thought you saw the bean. You showed Eric the bean.
I didn't
We
see
also
a
saw
bean. I saw the bean.
We also saw several small beans that were like in window shops.
I did buy one.
Really?
Bought a little bean, yeah.
Like a
Like a bean.
Yep, exactly what you're thinking.
Like a bean.
When did the bean become the bean?
40s. But honestly, now I'm thinking about 36, 1936.
You're saying I'm saying like 84.
What do you think the maintenance on that bean is like?
Oh, it's nothing.
Gotta hose it off every couple.
Oh,
hours.
dang it. 2004.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's a way newer bean than I thought.
Bruh.
That bean recently celebrated its 20th anniversary.
That bean can drink.
That's a 20 bean.
That bean could drink.
So
Chicago had nothing before then.
Well, Dom, did you like the bean? Because I know you really like the idea of like visiting the world's biggest fucking ball of yarn. You
yeah, the
know?
bean was cool.
And?
But it just, I mean, there's nothing else to, you look at it, you walk away. It is in a nice place along the river.
Yeah, Millennium Park's pretty nice.
On the road to Chicago, have you noticed there's a certain museum?
A certain Hall of Fame, if you will.
How about the RV and Motorhome, Mobile Home Hall of Fame?
You ever been in an RV?
I've been in an RV. I've never been in an RV Hall of Fame, though.
You slept in an RV?
Yeah.
You showered in an RV?
Yeah.
Shit in an RV?
Yeah.
Where'd you go in an RV?
With the RV.
Where?
To campsite.
I'm suggesting we all take a 2-hour drive to the RV and Mobile Home Hall of Fame and check it out.
Why, though? None of us have RVs.
Bro, no!
The Hall of Fame. You wouldn't want to go just to see that the best there ever was.
You said you're like, I want to go see the world's biggest ball of yarn. I want to see the world's biggest pickle. I want to go see all of this, but you don't want to see the world's best RVs.
I can't appreciate it because I know nothing about it.
Bro,
Like, you know much about yarn?
No, but you can see if you look at a ball of yarn and it's the biggest.
You kind of get the gist.
Yeah. They're gonna tell me something about this
You
was
see
the
a cool
first.
RV, you'll be like, that's a cool RV.
Yeah. You're
You're not going to look at an RV and go, oh, this is beyond me.
I wish I could comprehend this.
But there's so much that we don't know about RVs.
I feel like it's just going to be like, I feel like it's just going to be like, oh, wow, this is a cool thing.
They'll probably teach us stuff.
Look, there's a dishwasher in this one. Oh, look, there's a gaming chair in this one.
Yeah, but I don't care about that.
What do you care about then?
What would you
Balls of
like?
yarn?
What would you like to see in an RV?
What would I like to see in an RV?
Yeah.
A hot tub.
You'll probably see that at the RV Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you think an RV with a hot tub isn't in the Hall of Fame?
No, it probably is.
Well, we really just wanted to see it because we saw them say, we went on the Google reviews and it said, somebody said the gift shop there was pointless. And we want to figure out what that
Oh,
means.
they didn't give anything else to it. They just said it was pointless.
The gift shop was kind of pointless, like because it didn't sell anything, or like because
I suggested the gift shop only sells gift cards to the gift shop.
Okay, that would be a reason it's pointless for sure.
Yo, Scott, what would you do if you were a Tiger IRL?
Could I do things that Tigers couldn't? I'd probably do some funny shit, you know?
Like
I'll
what?
go to a boardroom meeting with a little suit and tie.
I think you'd be
little
shot.
briefcase. No, I wouldn't. I would get eventually shot.
especially if you made it all the way.
If you were in a
They don't
business-
have a gun or like a sleeping dart or something
I feel like
to shoot me with. They would call animal control first.
Oh, that or police, and they'd put you down.
If I was a police officer and I
If
saw
you
you
were
as a
in a
Tiger,
building,
I'd shoot you.
yeah.
In a suit and tie?
Yeah.
I have little human-like characteristics.
Yeah, no. Honestly, if a tiger was wearing a suit and tie and sitting calmly, I don't even think I'd call the
If he's
cops.
at his desk, I'm probably chilling on that.
Yeah,
He's like working.
He's at his desk. He's got Excel open. Like,
Yeah.
he's doing stuff.
Yeah.
What if I have like a little sign on me that says like, guys, don't worry, I'm the Yogi Bear of tigers.
At least ask you questions.
How do you know Yogi Bear?
What does that mean, the Yogi Bear of tigers? I'm just a mischievous tiger. I got a suit and tie, and you know, I
take picnic baskets.
want to share my fate with the female tiger. Let's hunt a rhino to show my
that's
courage to
dangerous.
her.
You're upgrading to rhinos?
They look like dinosaurs.
They do kind of.
Dominic, you were talking about rhinos yesterday.
What did I say? I forget.
They got thick skin.
Oh, I bet they do. Look at that thing. What's an animal that has thicker skin than a rhino? Maybe a walrus?
Who wins in a fight, walrus or rhino?
Rhino.
Or like
Well, walrus has the water advantage.
Yeah, but they can also climb
Rhino has the
land.
land advantage.
I would still give it to rhino because rhinos can go in the water, can't they?
I think so.
Just a little bit.
I mean, nothing's stopping them. They just
I just don't think
probably
they'd
drown.
swim. I think they'd sink. I think they'd sink to the bottom like a bag of sand.
Yeah, but look at hippos.
So you said you couldn't operate on a rhino, right?
I don't know if I said that, but I do believe that. Yeah.
Oh, you could?
I could not. No.
Why not?
Well, what do you mean operate? You say operate, and it's so generic.
Let's say tonsils. Taking the tonsils out.
Dude, I don't even know if they have tonsils. Yes, rhinos have tonsils like humans and other mammals.
See?
What is that? That doesn't get us anywhere. What do you mean?
So do something about it.
Can rhinos eat ice cream?
Oh, it's a rhino. They can eat anything.
Anything?
Yeah.
How do you know black tiger?
They probably.
How do you
can.
know that, but you feel so not confident in operating on one?
That is so different.
No, it's not. What? Talking about can a rhino eat ice cream?
Compared to doing surgery on a rhino?
Yeah, probably can't eat ice
I
cream.
can't even talk to you.
You could probably do some surgery. You cut it open and you take the thing out and you cut it. You sew it up.
Could you could you operate on a rhino, Justin?
For sure. It's not fucking rocket science.
All right. Well, what would step 1 be?
Step 1, grab my knife. Step 2, cut it open.
You are already dead.
I'm dead?
Yeah, you didn't even sedate the rhino.
I'm assuming that the
No, it's you alone.
Rhino,
Oh,
the rhino,
me alone.
the rhino needs surgery and is understanding of the
I
consequences.
figured I'm walking into the room, the rhino's already laying on
No,
the
it's
table.
you and the rhino.
Me and the rhino? Okay,
Yeah.
then I have a Trent gun and I knocked the rhino out.
Okay.
And then I grab my knife and I cut it open.
Where?
What am I trying to do?
What are we talking about?
The tonsils? The like neck area?
Cut his neck, slit his throat. It's easy. It's so easy to kill a rhino. You're supposed to save the rhino.
Well, no, I feel like I'd probably lift his mouth open and grab his tonsils.
What tonsils look like?
With their hands, I'll do a Google search. I'll figure it out.
Look up rhino tonsils.
I don't know how to spell tonsil. Oh, so it's like a little rock. Yeah, it seems pretty f***ing easy to take out.
Well, you just slit its throat. Now
I did some Googling and now I don't do that.
Look up a rhino. It's like human tonsil.
I looked up rhino.
Wait, you look up human tonsils?
I looked up rhino and it seems it's only giving me human. So like, how different can it be?
Where's the tonsils at?
I think it's in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause for a moment. Well, nothing. Okay.
You seem in high spirits, Reinhardt.
Who wouldn't be after a date with the most amazing woman in the world?
If you're acting this way already, I fear for our next date.
There's a next date? Wunderbar!
I must say, Brigitte, you've really proven yourself. You have your father's smart, Reinhardt bravery.
Oh, thanks. But not their charging or yelling, right?
Not yet. You still have work to do. In Egypt, cats were often seen as his protectors. And yet you seem more likely to protect your kibble.
How's your little base looking these days, sweetheart? You fixed that bob-shaped hole in the wall yet?
Why don't you swing by, see for yourself? We'll even throw you a little welcome party.
I'm sure it'll be a real barn burner. I'll bring the fireworks.
You've been in the fight a long time. Ever consider a life beyond battle?
Sometimes, but I think any chance of that is long gone.
I used to think that too, brother. But believe me, there's always another path to take.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
You getting homesick too? I guess we were never good at sticking anywhere too long.
Maybe not.
Well, wherever you wind up, if you ever need a gunslinger, you can always count on me.
And if you ever have a need on my blade, it is yours.
When exactly are you planning to come clean to the others? That's your ex-Talon.
You may be forgetting that the last time someone found out, he tried to kill me.
That was me. But Vivian's got her head on straight. She'd understand.
Oh, think about it.
The manner in which you have enhanced yourself with cybernetics is quite exciting.
I've always felt that my modifications are just an extension of myself.
Curious. I have felt that myself is an extension of my modifications.
Doesn't matter how many upgrades you get, Echo, you'll still be you.
You have been acting strangely since returning from Grand Mesa.
Yeah, that old friend I ran into. She gave me a lot to think about.
I see. Are you going to leave, Cassidy?
Let's save it for after this mission.
You've been off since Grand Mesa. Everything all right?
I don't know. I guess I didn't expect to see our old teammates.
I'm sure they take you back. You don't have to stick around with Talon.
I know. I know. You really think you'll find answers working with Talon?
I don't know, but it feels like my only option.
Then we'll see it through. This serum from Grand Mesa. How's your boss planning to use it?
Suddenly interested in what becomes of our bounties, are we?
No, just staying informed.
Continue supplying my experiments, and the entire world will know the results soon enough.
Mizuki, you should start climbing walls.
What? Why? It is a valuable skill.
Oh, what's wrong with you people? I am glad you have chosen a side, brother. I have always been on yours.
If only I had understood that sooner. Backing the Hashimoto was a mistake. The sons of Shimada will not rest until Talon is cleared from our streets.
Good. The restless are careless and easy to put down.
It was reckless of you to take on the Hashimoto in that arcade. Be grateful Kiriko and I came to help.
From what I hear, she once helped you escape a similar predicament.
That was different.
I will never suggest otherwise.
If you're going to ask me to lighten up, save it. I've heard it enough times.
Nonsense. I know happiness is not always easy to come by.
Oh, I didn't think anyone else understood.
We all have our battles, my friend, and for us, every smile is a victory.
I wish I'd had control over my own fate that day.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Can you keep a secret?
Sometimes I rehearse my conversations with Chunya before I have them for real. You want a treat? Me too. If only someone will give us one.
The hamster knows a suspicious mammal when he sees one. The Q-Tech will not work on him. He is the master of it.
Hey, what's Peru like?
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, but is it worth conquering?
If you don't mind getting blasted to pieces by the power of the sun.
Lucky you hitched your wagon to me, Wolf Girl. I've been dreaming of a takeover for ages.
And a spectacle it shall be. Fight loud, and I will handle the aftermath.
Hunt any foxes recently? Can't say that I have. All the ones I've seen recently are runts.
Guess you'll find other ways to turn a profit.
Watch it, sugar.
You make some impressive copies of Dad's anime avatars.
Thank you. Their functionality should be near 99.99% accurate.
Not trying to beat the real thing, I hope.
I wouldn't dare.
If you weren't so focused on putting me behind bars, you might finally notice the ones around yourself.
Was that a taunt, Niren? I can hardly hear you with how far you've fallen off the Academy's pedestal.
Another deflection. I hope someday you'll listen. If you're willing to share, how did you know that you were non-binary?
It was like, you know that feeling when you've been puzzling over a ruin for weeks, and then you find that one clay urn that brings the whole story together?
I can't say I'm familiar.
Oh, well, it's like that.
You should be careful making deals with Vera.
I assure you, she and I have an equal partnership. If you're trying to turn me against her, you won't succeed.
Perhaps, but you should know, she's not so agreeable as she appears to be.
Do not assume my ignorance. I know her nature as well as my own.
You did the right thing, leaving Vishkar behind. The rest of those drones ought to take notes. Well, I'm sure it's not so simple for everyone. Get real, man. You think walking away is harder than ruining people's lives? At Vishkar, you'd be surprised.
I know of a procedure that could tame those emotions of yours.
Let me remind you what happened last time I had an operation.
That serum you retrieved is coming along nicely, Emre. You're rather useful when you care to show up.
Well, I'd hate to make your life too easy.
Our facility's data on the Inti Warriors was corrupted recently. Would you happen to know who'd do such a thing?
No, but whoever did it was keeping our secrets safe from monsters like you.
No matter. Rest assured I will work tirelessly to salvage what remains.
What a glorious day! The sun is smiling upon us. Hello, sun!
Hinolsi won't say hello back, right?
Yeah, well,
I'm pretty sure anyway.
I always heard the gangs out west were small time. Isn't working with Talon a little ambitious?
Come on now. Can't fault a girl for dreaming big, can you?
I can fault her for armed robbery.
Ugh, details.
I'll hand it to you. You've turned Talon into a real monster.
All the better to crush your pathetic resistance.
One thing you ought to know about Overwatch, we don't go down easy.
I am counting on it.
Give my thanks to your parents for letting us operate out of their home. And sorry for all the noise.
Oh, don't worry about that. Mama says it's the quietest the workshop has been in years.
You deployed to Tokyo against orders? Careless decisions like this got Overwatch shut down in the first place.
I have spent a lifetime running from my responsibilities. It is time I face them.
How are your experiments with the enhancement serum progressing?
Progress cannot be rushed. When I have the results, you'll be the first to know.
Time is of the essence, Odirin.
New overseer, same impatience.
You've enjoyed Talon's protection long enough. Soon, you must declare your loyalty.
And what happens if I don't?
Then I will hunt you down myself.
You want to play my game? I thought you hated losing.
You stand no chance against the Hashimoto, if you so readily welcome their informant into your ranks.
The Yokai aren't an army. We're a family. Not surprised you don't understand.
I see you have returned to honor your father's legacy at last.
You are mistaken. My brother and I fight for each other, and the future we might build together.
If that is all you desire, it is an embarrassment the Hashimoto cannot handle you themselves.
Meow, meow, meow. He says, oh no you didn't. He says, you take that back. He says, the pot is calling the kettle black.
Well, interesting.
Oh, dude, did you hear?
Hear what?
The anime man has an opinion again.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
What?
It's not good.
Oh, God.
It's not good. It's never good. It's not good. This is.
Get out that closet, bro. It's June. Come on.
16
Come on.
days ago. Oh, shit.
Hey, what's up? I'm Noah Johnson, and I don't feel like getting up right now. So a couple weeks the anime man talked again. I don't know why he keeps doing that. He made it abundantly clear that we hate it when he does it. But for some reason, he keeps doing it. A video went around where somebody was giving an anime hot take. One of the people said, hey, I would want there to be more female protagonists in anime. Which, fine, you want more women in anime? You want more women in anime? Fine by me. Totally cool. And the anime man decided to list a bunch of anime with female protagonists as a gotcha in order to imply that there are enough and that we don't need more.
More female protagonists?
No, Sailor Moon, Madoka Magica, Puzzle Ones, Zero Star Slain, Total Left for Time, Kill Musume. Damn, I guess we do need more female anime protagonists, huh?
And that's just a weird thing to do, right? Can we all agree how strange that is? Then he dropped the video arguing that we misconstrued what he said and that we didn't understand it and that we were taking it out of context, which we weren't. We heard what he said. We just didn't like it. Dude, we're not having a misunderstanding. You're just garbage. You're garbage. And a lot of people are going to see that and they're going to think it's me, and that's I'm okay with that. I can fight. I don't like bro. It ain't personal. He just sort of epitomizes everything that's wrong with anime fans and anime community at large, and a lot about what's wrong with men. Hey, what's up? I had to get up and do my volunteering work. I volunteer a bunch of places, and today's my day to be in the space. Something that I just can't fathom is hearing a woman go, "Hey, I don't feel represented," or another minority other than a black person go, "Hey, I don't."
Again. You're just overthinking it, damn it. I have an opinion, and I hate you for having an opinion. God damn it.
Hello, guys and gals, me Mudahar, and ladies and gentlemen. As you all have probably heard, there's been a pretty serious talk about VPN age restrictions actually happening this summer. Now, as far as we've seen, it's kind of in the United Kingdom. It might even touch other parts of the world, because it seems like a lot of these governments that are putting age restriction on all of our social media have realized it's just really easy to bypass. Now, look, I can make a video talking about how bad this is and get a VPN service and yada yada yada. But for making it annoying to get in this situation, I'm going to show you guys how to build your own VPN. I've shown you this in the past, so I'm actually recommending right into this. Okay, real Indian tutorial style YouTube. Okay, just simple fluff. Let's get into it. It's effectively you're connecting to a network outside your own system, and you're basically routing to that, and you connect to a VPN, you can basically access internal networks. Or in this case, you can access the US VPN, right? Think of it as, you know, imagine if you're living in the United Kingdom, right? Obviously, it sucks. You gotta get your ID for everything. Or if you have a computer sitting in a part of the world that didn't necessarily have any age restriction whatsoever. Imagine if your computer was sitting somewhere in the US. Now you buy a computer, place it there, whole internet connection, but it's fucking headache. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna buy something known as a VPS. Now, what a VPS, ladies and gentlemen, a VPS is a virtual private server, and basically allows us to purchase a little computer in another part of the world for maybe a few bucks a month. Now, ultimately, at the end of the day, you really pick which provider you want. Some of them give you cheap options, like here's one for $2.80 a month, and there's some options that go more and more expensive. So because I actually have an account with a service called Messenger, I'm actually just gonna use this as an example. Now, again, you can make your account over here, you can sign up, yada yada, whatever. As far as I have experience, I haven't asked for a driver's license or anything. A lot of these services, some of them will ask you for KYC, so if your account gets flagged, don't be surprised if you have to give up your information here. You can probably go to some shady VPS services that might be cheaper and operate in parts of the world where they really don't do any checking. But I'm not here to give you any wild ideas. This is not a video where you're meant to stay safe or private on the internet. In fact, this is not the most private option. This is not a way for you to access any Netflix service, bypass video. This is not a perfect solution. This is literally a video to teach you how to set up a virtual private network, something of your own, in a part of the world that isn't currently restricted by any age verification crap at this moment. So that's pretty much what this video is for. Now, you may also your account gets into the H panel, whatever, you can click the little search option, and you can probably just search for something like WireGuard or OpenVPN. Now, you can just click any of these options and you can just deploy it this easily. Honestly, that doesn't make for a fun video. What if you don't have something this easy on the case service you went to, right? What if they just throw you a VPS and call it a day? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna walk you through exactly how this stuff works. Okay, so in this site or whatever site you're on, basically you want to purchase a VPS. Now, every single site will have a different idea or different user interface. So generally speaking, they'll ask you what the fuck you want to set your VPS. So you can see right here, there's plenty of options like France, the United Kingdom, obviously we're trying to get away from here. So these two options are kind of bust. There's Lithuania, there's Germany, there's the United States, there's Brazil, India, Indonesia, so on and so forth. Now, makes it super easy. We're gonna pick, I guess, Boston too. So again, that is the closest one to me. Apparently, it's the best part of the front, I guess. So next, and over here you can pick which operating system you want to install. Now, you can go away from all Debian, Arch, whatever. We're gonna pick Ubuntu because it's super easy. Pick 24.04 LTS. It's like, and here you can generate root passwords and especially SSH keys if you want. Just for simplicity's sake, and I'm not really gonna be using this outside this video just to showcase. I'm gonna make a root password really quickly. So give me a second, and we're going to just hit next there. And it'll ask you for additional passwords too. So you can have a malware scanner if you want, which sure, why not? You got daily backups, which really wouldn't matter for a VPN anyways. And of course, a Docker manager, but we don't really need to do this. We'll just hit next. And here's where the pricing comes in. Okay, so for instance, if you're buying this, you have different options, right? So for $6 a month, you can get 1 core, 4 gigs of RAM, 50 gigs of storage, and 4 terabytes of bandwidth. And that's probably enough space for you. Simply speaking, that's probably all you need. Simply because I doubt many people are gonna be browsing per month more than 4 terabytes, right? So you probably just go keep. Now, you're on the cheapest option. This is where you kind of fucking get you. So basically, if you get the $12 now, you'll be charged $83 or whatever. And of course, ultimately, the plan does renew at the higher rate. You're gonna have a cheaper rate over here. So just because I'm gonna get the 1 month option, and I'm just gonna pay for it like $10 right now to show you. But depending on what you are, you can buy cheaper virtual private servers. You can find cheaper options. So again, you have to pay this. Remember last time I showed you this, I think a free Google option, but I don't know if that's necessarily available anymore. And I believe that services like that generally are a lot faster because since they're free, lots of scammers use them, and ultimately it just ruins the whole party for everyone. So I'm gonna pay like $10 over here, and we're basically just gonna get the cheapest option just to show you guys this stuff and kind of walk from here. So let me process the payment, and I'll get back to you. All right. So once you're paid, you'll see it setting up my VPS. It'll take about 3 minutes. You'll like basically just setting up your little Linux environment, basically setting up your little virtual server off the internet. Now again, you can use this for a lot of other things that aren't necessarily VPN related. Again, you can always upgrade the performance or the actual server you get. So maybe if you do want to do things, maybe if you want to take really advantage of this, you can. But for now, for VPN purposes, the cheapest option that you got is probably the finest option, right? So again, just shop around, see what deal works for you and your budget. You don't have to go and pay and run a leg for any service out there. As long as you have access to a VPS, you can SSH into, which basically all of them, you're effectively fine. The reason I'm going through the procedure for this video is because ultimately the stuff that I show you can be replicated on basically any other service, right? So just keep that in mind. So once everything's done, ladies and gentlemen, you have access to SSH into your system or just manage it directly from the browser. Now, SSHing is not really that difficult. As long as you get this IP address or whatever it gives you, what you do is open a terminal on your own system. So again, really doesn't matter what you have. If you have Windows or you have Mac, generally speaking, you open with SSH built into your terminal. So what I'm gonna do right over here is just make it super easy for you. I'm just gonna change my terminal so it looks more like this. So again, I can SSH in, and of course the first time I'll ask you, hey, this key is not known, so yes, and of course enter the exact root password that you have. So again, I entered it wrong. And generally there's also ways to lock this up by creating SSH keys, so you can actually further secure the system. So once you're SSH in, you should see this right over here, welcome to Ubuntu, and all this extra stuff. So again, this is how you SSH from your terminal. Now if you are somebody that wants to use the SSH tool inside Messenger, then that's something you can do as well. So here inside the tool, all you do is just click the terminal button, and you'll be sent to a web page that just gives you terminal access. Anyway, so again, it opens up right here. So right here, what do you do first? Well, you want to get Docker, right? So ultimately what you're gonna do here is you're gonna install it into the system. So you can see right here, Docker isn't found by default, which is totally fine. You can do curl-s, capital S, L, and then of course enter the Docker like actual like server here. So get docker.com and /sh, and of course will execute the install script for you. So you're installing Docker, and once this is ready to go, you can get container installed, which in this case is gonna be something called WGEZ, which is WireGuard easy, simply because that is the easiest way to get this stuff installed. There's more complicated, better solutions, but generally speaking, I'm assuming that whoever's watching this doesn't really know what's like. I'm assuming that people have never touched a terminal. So I'm kind of making this video for the average person to come into and do this simply by following the video. So now that the system is here, I actually did reboot it. You really don't have to. Now we actually go to the system and Docker. Yes, you see that basically works. There's nothing actually loaded, which makes sense. So just clear this again. If you hit ls, you can actually see that nothing sort of exists here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna type in make directory, right? Maker, and of course we're gonna make a directory known as WGEZ in this case, right? And once we make that directory, you can see that again now it's made, so we're just gonna change directory into it. So cd WGEZ. Now we're actually here's where our workspace begins. So we're gonna make a Docker compose file. So here we're using something called Nano, which is basically board editing tool, text editing tool here. We're gonna type in Docker compose.yaml. You might be like, well, why don't you use Vim? If you're asking me that, you probably don't fucking need this video. So don't be smart ass, alright? It's a free instructional video. Goddamn. So once you get access to this, actually wrote a Docker compose script that we can use in this situation. You can kind of just copy what I have over here. Basically walk you through what's happening. It's easy to pull a image, just name this image. Importantly, what we're doing over here, kind of how sort of like, read this and kind of fix out the script or make sure it's syntactically correct. You see that over here, basically what we're doing is we're kind of using the admin port. We're kind of locking it to local. Meaning that we'll actually want to expose the administration panel to the public, right? So we just jump in your thing and make it around with it. We're gonna walk this down the best way that we can, right? So ultimately following this script, you can just kind of pause the video, write this down, and copy it in or type it in as you need to. Once you're done, hit Control X, and you can basically save this in your system. You can save it as the Docker compose file. Now what you do is basically bring it out. So Docker compose -d. So when you do this, you'll see that it's pulling all the files, right? So it's pulling WGEZ. Now it's actually started. So you Docker, yes, it's fairly fucking running. Hello, all there. So everything seems to be working. So access this, and again, this is me doing it under Linux. I'm not going to turn on my own system. We're just going to leave. If you have this SSH running, you just kind of minimize and keep that terminal. So I've got a fresh one, and here you can do SSH -L. Of course, you can type in again the actual port. So in this case, we rounded it to 51821:localhost:5181. And of course, at this point, we're also going to be doing root add. And of course, the IP address that we actually had set. So the IP address you can find in the overview page for your hosting your account. So again, you can copy that one specifically and just paste that into this terminal. And when you do that, you can enter. And of course, you do have to provide a password, obviously, or the SSH key if you hardened that. But as you're browsing this terminal open, you don't have a fresh little page. You don't have a fresh web browser page. You can copy localhost 5181 to enter, and you'll be sent to WireGuard, right? So here it is. We're connected to the WireGuard stuff that we have. So anytime we add like new things, so anytime we add new users, you can basically enter this command in and open up sort of a panel to WireGuard. So here we're going to go through this stuff together. We're going to continue. We're going to give ourselves a username. So I'm going to give myself my name. I'm going to give it a password that I know. And of course, we can make that. Wait, is it the same password? Oh, some default characters. Okay. Well, maybe I'll just make it root. Not the best thing to be using password, but again, this is a video that just shows you the process. You can handle security as you intend. So ask, do you have existing stuff? Obviously, don't forget. No, these enter those important information. So we use for client configuration when setting up WireGuard on their device. Which by the way, since we're over here, go back to the panel and definitely like a firewall command. So I think this one specifically needs like firewall commands. So again, enter in like a allow like 51820/UDP. So again, we'll add this command in because ultimately we don't want to open any port to the public, right? We don't want to open certain ports. And effectively, the tunnel that we made literally a few minutes ago, that's how we want to reach it, right? So you can see that for host, you can click the big red suggest button, and the suggestion you can probably put in the standard IP address of the actual like that's public facing. You can also use the same. We're going to the IP address. Again, we'll keep it at port 51820 as everything should just default. So we'll stick with the default. So at this point, once it's successful, we're going to sign in. And of course, ultimately the user account that we just built, we're going to sign in using that. Here we go. We're signed in. You can see on the admin area, you can light mode that shit up, ladies and gentlemen, start flashbanging you. But here we have new client. So new client, what I'm going to do is type in main PC. So this is my main computer, and of course, it's going to want the expiration date. So I guess just for the sake of this, I'm not using this too further, too long. I'm just going to date close by, create client. Of course, you can see right over here, it's going to be the main PC. Now, if you can connect your client here, you can make clients as you want. You can make things for your cell phone, your tablet, your other computer. But I'm just going to keep for this one computer right here. Look, my phone actually did connect to the IP address that is linked to the VPN. So anyways, that's one way to go. It literally was that you just scan the QR code and you're putting like wavy. That connects over to my computer, right? You can see the actual activity. Right now, the configuration file over here. So now this, we're going to say this to my computer. It's going to be the conf file right here. So inside my Linux networking settings, and the Mac might be a little bit different. Windows might be different. You can actually look online for the client guides. Once you download these configuration files, so basically in the network settings, all you have to do is the connection. Of course, over here inside Linux, you can basically look for where it says WireGuard. So again, you can find WireGuard over here, and you can actually connect through the configuration file. Actually, I think however the best way to do it is to go all the way down to import VPN connection, and then inside download folder, you can configuration. Boom, actually is there connected. So now that everything is connected and ready to go. Let's see if the VPN does in fact function. So it says I'm connected, but I'm actually going to go to what's my IP, for instance. And inside the what's my IP page, you can actually see that it did in fact work. My IP address is connected to Boston, Virginia, in the United States of America. My ISP is hosting your operation. So it's not so much a private VPN. The VPN that you go to will find ways to mask themselves. It's a little like, I don't know, weird shady white band LLC or something like that, right? or something of that nature. But generally, the idea here, ladies and gentlemen, is how do you access the internet? Well, you can go to youtube.com, and as far as YouTube is concerned, I'm just connecting to their service via, again, this VPN that I have. And you see that literally I'm able to access their VPN anymore, and refresh the API, and literally just connect through them. So I disconnect the VPN and still have access with the actual like SSH app. So I'll just reconnect this once more. Wait, can I exit? Well, actually, like, crash. Well, connect me in. Okay, try logging in. Here, I'm actually back in the main system. So I do fire the VPN. I do tell my connection to Wirebird. But here, ladies and gentlemen, to extend actually to show you guys how to set up your own personal virtual private network. So again, anytime you want to access it, right, you basically connect it with the same SSH command that I showed you for your specific server. From here, you can connect in and basically make all the new accounts that you want. So Wirebird is pretty well supported as a VPN platform. Ultimately, at the end of the day, so the first solution you can rely on for again your own VPN. So it really isn't that long of a setup, to be honest with you. Like for the most part, this is kind of the route you want to take. The reason I walk you through this process is because listen, now you know how to do this amongst any VPN service, right? If you have actual computers around the world, you can set up a Docker container there and just do exactly what I showed you on this channel, right? So ultimately now, no matter what your skill level is by following this video guide, you now know how to set up a VPN service. You now know how to set up your own personal VPN. So now if the tyrannical government around you wants to basically ban access to a lot of these, or not ban access, but require you to give up your personal information, you can now use virtual private services that may not ask you for your information and just set up your service through them. So now, however, you can get services from like Mobile VPN and TinyDefine right there. But like, we're a fucking weird world, okay? And look, I know there's going to be some angry fucking parents, you just taught kids how to make their own VPN, and bypass the basic laws, and that I really don't give a fuck, to be honest with you. I think information is power. I think you should be free to make your choices on the internet, and you know what, fuck you. I'm going to give you guys the best tools, tips, and tricks like that. So today you learn something. Even if you fucking hate me, or you become some scumbag, asshole, piece of shit, whatever the fuck, okay, here's my biggest hate. At least you learn something. And that is more valuable than anything else out there, okay? I wish I had this style, fucking liberty behind me, a whole book full of knowledge, but if you're not full of knowledge, you kind of need for it. Ladies and gentlemen, not to keep your one like stuff, like on this thread, just like that.
Good morning, John. You have to poop in the Eiffel Tower. You have to poop in the Eiffel Tower because you can. There are bathrooms on all 3 levels of the tower, and remarkably, there's been a toilet at the very top since the beginning when the guy whose company designed and financed most of the tower secured himself an apartment at the top where he pooped, making him probably, at the time, the world's highest pooper above natural ground level, though that record may have at the time been held by someone. And higher balloon, it's very difficult to know. You have to poop at the top of the Eiffel Tower because since its initial construction, the tower has been constantly filled and refilled with new, updated infrastructure, adding different kinds of elevators, adding lights and air conditioners and wires, and yes, tons and tons of plumbing. You have to poop in the Eiffel Tower because the people who build and maintain the Eiffel Tower work very hard to hide the infrastructure that allows you to poop in the Eiffel Tower. That infrastructure warms the pipes, it manages the pressures so they can keep flowing even in the harshest winters and the hottest of summers, as tens of thousands of people visit every single day, each of them bringing with them their own individual biological human needs. You have to poop in the Eiffel Tower because the plumbing of the tower is designed in a clause both unlikely and fixable, because a full building clogging your house is a bit of a disaster, but a full building clogging the Eiffel Tower would be an international incident. That infrastructure manages not just the fluid in the pipes, but the air in the pipes, making it so that every flush can move from the top of the tower into the sewer, guaranteeing that your poop will be out of the tower faster than you will be. You have to poop in the Eiffel Tower and then walk the 8 minutes to the Paris Sewer Museum, where you will take an elevator down to the basement, where the ticket collector will tell you in French, and there's obviously no internet in the Paris Sewer, so you need to go back up to the top and load the tickets on your phone and then come back down, where you will discover the Paris Sewer Museum. It's not a Disneyland version of the Paris Sewers, it is in fact the Paris Sewer. And the sewage is running directly under the brakes under your feet, and for all you know, the sewage there is flowing directly from the Eiffel Tower. You have to poop in the Eiffel Tower, so you can see that we build things to be beautiful and impactful. They also need to be useful. They need to conform to our human aesthetics as well as our biological needs. Some things are beautiful because we work hard to make them beautiful. In some sense, of course they are. Of course those things are beautiful. But sometimes things are made to be useful and just happen to be beautiful. And almost always, hidden in the beauty of human creation is another kind of beautiful, something that cannot be seen, only known. That everything is maintenance. That we are layering our new abilities upon our old abilities, like said, laid down in the river delta, like layers of paint laid down by generations of workers. And at every step, always, there's a constant layer of maintenance, without which everything we make will fall apart basically instantly. You have to poop in the Eiffel Tower because our world wants to hide that beauty. The beauty of humans building for humans. The beauty of maintenance. So instead we only see the magic. The magic isn't beautiful. The magic's a lie. The beauty is the stuck in the structure. The beauty is the work. John. Congratulations on your new book. It's a beautiful new cover. You have to poop in the Eiffel Tower. I'll see you on Tuesday. It's true. I'm in Paris. It's very hot. I recorded with my microphone on the street. My pigeon's dead. As dead pigeon. Oh my god. I'm almost dead rat. Jesus Christ. I swear, that's the first day I was. That's the first one I was. It's the first one I'm kind of. I assume it is, of course. It's an amazing place for nerds. There's so much good nerd museum here. The reason I'm talking to you in the video is that the author of the creators open. We have a on this channel. Unfortunately, that goes to every year creators who make some educational content apply, and then we give small grants out to those people. If you want to find out more about that, there's information in the description. If there are creators you know, but not creators, but creators who are making stuff on your network, media, know about it. We've been doing this for over a decade. We've had great people over the years. Check out the links in the description. Just hang on the back on there. The links in the description. The links in there. That remarkably of cancer. Which what? You think you would die a different way?
A man in Alabama wanted some ice cream, so he stopped by a spot called the local scoop. He had a less than positive experience, so he ended up leaving a negative review. And from that moment forward, he was hunted like Frodo Baggins. That was the biggest mistake of his life because the owner, ruthless. She used the latest and greatest in NSA technology to track him down and unmask him, revealing his identity, and months later noticed him at a stoplight and flagged him down, so that way she could give him a piece of her mind about that review that he left months prior. It is a wacky video that escalates to an absurd degree that actually ends up with her and her husband getting arrested, all because one guy had the gall to leave a not great review about his experience with their ice cream shop.
Wake up every day and you choose to be a little bit. We know where you live. I've spoke with your mom. I've got your phone number. Somebody that you messaged on Facebook dating gave me that. That one's not going to go anywhere for you.
Going to do about it?
She's not going to do anything, but she gave me your biological government name, so now I can press charges on you. For what?
Immediately, a lot to unpack here. So she says that she got his phone number from someone he communicated with through Facebook dating, and then also tracked down his mother, which is a very interesting strategy. I guess she thought, you know, by getting mommy involved, she'd go and ground him for giving his opinion on her ice cream shop. But like all the effort she's gone through to like dox this guy. Like, holy shit, man. I tell you what, if this whole ice cream shop thing doesn't work out, it doesn't seem like it's working out. She could have another career as like a private investigator or something. She really goes the distance. But yeah, she used Mama here as a way of getting his full legal name, which I feel like she already had. If she was able to find his mom, I feel like that was another extra step that she didn't need to take. She's just basically getting everything she can about this guy. Probably got his SAT scores from high school as well. And now she's threatening to like press charges. What is the charge? Not enjoying a meal, an unsucculent ice cream meal. This is insanity manifest. What the fuck is she yapping about? What? I'm so curious what crime she thought he committed by leaving a negative review. You're not allowed to express mean words about my ice cream shop. You're going to slammer buster, lock him away and flush the key down the shitter. We got a minute on the list. Did you see here my feelings with this negative review? Why are you arresting him, officer? Take him away in cuffs. Like, this is some fucking wackiness. Like, this is bonkers behavior here. She's off her gourd.
That's where you should be back at. That's where you belong. They can run your ass in the ground there. That's all you're You're useless. You're literally, you live in a camper and you DoorDash. You're garbage. You're garbage. You're just nothing. You're nobody. Here's the thing. They're gonna keep on. I said on that post was exactly right. I'm sorry. I make $42,000 in 2 months. I give a fuck if you're running out. You're not be.
I fail to see how you making $42,000 in 2 months is in any way related to his negative review. Just because you've made a lot of money doesn't mean that you've debunked his negative review. It doesn't like invalidate his experience with it. It's like this is just her trying to flex and dunk on him. She keeps trying to say like you're nothing, you're nobody, you're trash, this and that. Yet she has spent hours upon hours over the course of a few months, mind you, since this review, finding out everything she can about this guy like it's fucking Jason Bourne or something. And now she is red in the face, steaming, just vomiting all this drivel to him. The person that she says doesn't matter at all, by the way.
Do you think I just woke up one morning and opened the ice cream shop? Or do you think I did my homework before I opened an ice cream shop? Which one do you think it is? Answer the question. What I'm telling you, it's a level service, none of your concern. You know absolutely none of your concern. You're not shit on anything. Do not continue to make posts. You will pay the price.
Yeah, this ice cream shop is serious business here. She rules that with an iron fist, and she's bringing the hammer down. Don't you ever come back to the local scoop. It's none of your business. You are not welcome to local scoop. That's a salty spittoon. Go back to Weenie Hut Junior ice cream shops, all right, pal? All right, Buster, or else you'll pay the price. This is craziness, man. All just because he left a negative review, which he's allowed to do. He's 100% right. He can do that. He ate there, gave it a try, didn't like it, not a crime. Nothing wrong with that.
You will. You will absolutely pay the price. Why are you shaking? You should be shaking. That's a good thing for you to do. Do not continue to involve yourself in my business. That will absolutely do something. But I will. That's the thing. I absolutely will do something. I am mad because I busted my ass at something, and you think you're going into the ground.
You are the only person that has ever flagged me down.
You know what I tell you? I have a spine.
You have some mental issues that would cause you to get mad. I left a review on your restaurant.
He left a review on a restaurant. She's making it sound like he's waging war on her on a personal level. He ate there, didn't like it, left a negative review. End of story. She's like, you will not run my business into the ground. Also, the guy that she continues to say is like nothing, by the way, and is nobody. All of a sudden, his one bad review is apparently taking down her entire fucking ice cream empire. And the astute observers will have noticed she is filming this interaction as well from her POV. This behavior always baffles me. Like, it actually is. It is a flabbergasting phenomenon where someone who's clearly in the wrong, just unhinged, maniacal, starts filming it because they are convinced they are delusional enough to believe that they are in the right and this makes them look good. So she is filming this fucking crash out from her own POV as well. And I'm guessing posted it on her Facebook page or somewhere in her, I don't know, the Ice Cream Mafia group or something. I really have no clue where that ended up, but that happens all the time. I really just don't get it.
If you continue to mess with my business, you will live to regret it.
Okay, I'm gonna call police.
You call her. You never fucked me first, I never virginity. Like, that's cool.
That's what you think.
It's getting really desperate now from her side here. Now she's bringing out League of Legends insults here. You're still a virgin, by the way. I bet. Yeah. How about you? How about that? You gonna take that review back now? Thoughts, virgin?
You can say I was trying to hide everything.
You are trying to hide. You were trying to hide. You put Daniel Smith on your Facebook page. You're a bitch.
I've never heard of a screen. I've never heard of a nickname.
Oh fuck! She's having a full Porky Pig blue screen in the brain type meltdown now. So now she's going to just the standard like mocking because she has nothing else that she can even begin to like piece together in her brain now during this argument that she has started, by the way, over his review. So now she's upset because he didn't use his real name for the review. He used like a screen name, which I think is totally fine. I think more people should do that. I really think we had it right fucking 15 years ago when it came to online shit, where you don't want to just be sharing your full name, your fucking every single little bit and piece about you, every little detail. I think that's the right way of doing things. Also, just to be extremely clear, no one should ever be afraid of leaving a bad review if they had a legitimately negative experience out of business. This should never be something that happens here, where the owner of that business tracks you down because they're salty that you didn't have a good time with their ice cream shop in this case. Oh fuck, here comes Paul Blart rolling in deep now, smuggling beach balls under his camouflage hoodie. So now we've got Goober number 2 that scoots in sideways, and he enters into the Thunderdome here, blood pressure through the fucking roof, looking like he's about to pop every blood vessel in his face, and he's mad now about the review. I guess maybe he mentioned the owners there, like even the guy like that's getting attacked here who left the review, like I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know what I said about you if I did say anything about you in the first place. What did you say?
Pussy now, Daniel. Pussy now, Daniel. Because you're the one backing up. Daddy, Call him Daddy.
What's pardon? Calling Daddy? It's getting so weird and just so off the rails. She's all over the place. I can't tell if she's aroused or angry anymore. Now it's getting sexual out of nowhere. This guy rolls up and all of a sudden I don't know if they're fighting or fucking what's about to happen here. It's confusing. So many mixed signals coming from their camp now. Very odd indeed. All over a bad review for their ice cream shop, by the way. Also, to state the obvious, I think this guy backing up and being afraid is totally understandable. This is a very peculiar situation to be in. They are really like in a state of psychosis at this point. They might be armed or something. They have tracked him down months later all because of his bad review. And now it's 2v1 here. Like, it is something to be fearful of. They don't know if they have a gun or a knife that they might just use all because he just expressed having a bad time at their ice cream shop. So I get why he would be like backing up. That makes sense.
Call him Daddy. Call him Daddy. Call him Daddy.
That's a podcast on a show.
Call him Daddy. You asked if I called him Daddy.
You started fucking. Have a great day. Have a great day. Why you walking like now? You're going to talk shit. I'm trying to say one word. Here's the thing. Why you talk shit about me? Can you let me? Can you let me? She got the store.
That's where the recording ends. That's the end of the Cloverfield footage that we get. Wow, pretty fascinating stuff. I gotta tell you, local scoop doesn't really seem like an overly great environment to go get yourself a nice little sweet treat. If you're making a trip out to the local scoop, you better bring your brass knuckles because that shit might just pop off at any moment. If they notice like a frown on your face, or heaven forbid you bring out your phone, you might be leaving a bad review and they can't take any chances. Like, just be careful out there on the local scoop.
A viral social media video of Bayonet has led to the arrest of 2 local business owners. The first online review led to a parking lot confrontation. Smash phone and now criminal charges. Ryan Gold, owners of the local ice cream shop, were arrested Thursday night and charged with misdemeanor harassment. Criminal charges stem from a June 7th encounter with Daniel Smith.
I really feel like the ice cream shop owners didn't get the W here that they thought they did. Not only did they look like complete clowns, but now they actually have charges that stem from this.
The customer who left a 1-star Google review of the business on its grand opening in March.
Didn't think nothing of it until I was reminded 3 months later.
Smith says he was working as a food delivery driver, and Mallory Goldman recognized him at a stoplight and asked to speak with him about the review. He agreed to meet her at a McDonald's parking lot after finishing a delivery stop, but says the conversation quickly turned hostile.
That's fucking crazy. So she spent time looking him up, digging in deep to find his baby photos, his current photos, this and that, his name, even who he's been talking to on dating apps, I guess, and then recognized his face on the road. That's unbelievable. That's actually unbelievable to me. And she was still angry about it to the point that she flagged him down so that way they could, hash it out here. I can't believe he actually said yes to that, like agreed to it. I imagine he thought that it would be like a, I don't know, like a peaceful thing, or like a peaceful resolution. I don't know. But that would have been an immediate red flag, super alarming behavior. That is not normal. That's not healthy.
Okay, I'm gonna leave the property.
He started recording, claimed Goldman then knocked the phone from his hand and stomped on it. The video spread, drawing hundreds of thousands of views on Facebook. The fallout has extended beyond social media.
Was just reached out to by the brand that supplies ice cream for the ice cream shop, and they just told me that they're no longer going to do business with them.
Despite the attention the incident has received, Smith says he's ready to move forward.
Yeah, that sounds about right. He had already moved forward. They're the ones that brought it up months later because he just left a bad review. And can you believe it? Their supplier pulled out from the local scoop. Oh, they'll rue the day, no doubt. The local scoop, a meteoric rise, no doubt, is on its way. So yeah, not only did they get charges, they lost their ice cream supplier. So now Mallory's gonna have to just be whipping that shit up by herself in the garage or something, doing it old Matt Terrell just supplying the ice cream out of thin fucking air or something. Get herself some fairy godparents and just wish some ice cream into their shop now. It's like, it was so easily avoidable. It was apparently doing well, making $42,000 in 2 months, and then she decided to torpedo everything by hunting this man down like an animal, all because he left a 1-star review. Fucking wild stuff, man. I had to yap about it. That's really about it. Yeah. I have what is officially known as an addiction problem. While I haven't been professionally diagnosed, I think all of the symptoms and signs are abundantly clear. But I just disagree with that nomenclature. I don't subscribe to the idea that it's an addiction problem. I prefer to call it an addiction blessing. And as you can probably tell, this whole Florida homunculus ain't looking to change it. You see, on the totem pole of addictions, you have your standard ones everyone's familiar with. You've got alcohol, porn, drugs. But what a lot of people don't mention is at the very top, sitting on the throne above all the others, is an addiction far more insidious and, let's be honest, far more embarrassing. Trading card addiction. That's what I have. You see, as I've always said, I'm finally all caught up with the latest in the LEGO scandal. So, naturally, while you about it, I want to bring you aboard the Magic School Bus here as we take a tour through the newest and the most comprehensive dive into this situation, which is found through CoffeeZilla's video. I highly recommend you watch his full video here, because he really gets into the weeds of it and shows everything. He bears it all. Let's the entire LEGO scandal hang hog in his birthday suit, and I think it is an incredible job he's done. Per usual, CoffeeZilla investigations, I think, are always just so high quality and just so well done. I want to be covering like a lot of new information, as well as also going over how we got here in the first place, because now, after so much has happened, a lot of people have forgotten what the actual facts are. People are, I think, getting confused or just really falling into the back rooms here when it comes to like this whole story, so they're regurgitating phony baloney nonsense, or even just outright myths, or ghost stories. Reckless Ben's not even real, he's been dead for 15 years type shit, and I think CoffeeZilla does a good job of keeping everything extremely clean, and all of it is real information, evidence, facts, just the straight up putting of it.
A $200,000 LEGO collection went missing. Caused a lot of you to ask me to find it. And after seeing the cops point guns at YouTubers, people get arrested and sued for $1.3 million. I decided enough was enough.
Most people said the same thing after seeing how everything unfolded here with the behavior exhibited by the Bricks and Minifigs side, as well as the very shady behavior from the American Fort Police Department in the handling of this case. So it's no surprise CoffeeZilla also said no more Mr. Nice Guy decided to get down and dirty and get to the bottom of this.
A massive Star Wars collection was put on consignment at a LEGO store called Bricks and Minifigs in Salem, Oregon. Consignment just means the owner, Ryan Mansell, gave it to a store to sell, and he was supposed to get a cut when it sold. The entire time, he maintained ownership of the collection, and a social media post estimated it to be worth about $200,000. But then, on November 14, 2024, everything went wrong. This was the night that Crystal and Ben Gordon, the prior franchise owners of the Salem store, got kicked out by this guy. That is Brandon Best. He and his partner Josh Johnson ran a sister store in Eugene, Oregon, and Brandon drove up that night to kick the Gordons out. Brandon and Josh would be taking over the franchise in Salem, and this is the exact moment the Legos go missing. As that store is getting handed over, the question is Brian's collection in it?
A perfect succinct previously on Dragon Ball Z lore dump. That is exactly how everything happened and exactly what started this story to begin with, where Ryan Mansell had a very valuable collection go into this Bricks and Minifigs on consignment. The previous franchisees get kicked out, and there is a lot of questions around, well, where are the Legos now? Because Ryan Mansell, the owner of the Legos, has not been compensated for all the Legos that he had brought there, that presumably had sold as well, and also now Bricks and Minifigs is being like really combative and not super cooperative. So just a lot of like big questions that until CoffeeZilla's video hadn't really had any clear answers with strong supporting evidence and proof that really paints the entire picture clearly on the location of these missing Legos. So the first thing CoffeeZilla looks at is the Bricks and Minifigs official press release, where they claim that there's only like $2,000 to $5,000 worth of Legos left there, which is a huge discrepancy based on all the reporting on how many Legos should have still been there. Coffee then looks at all the suspects and even toys around the possibility that this could be someone completely unrelated, like thieves, just regular old Joe Schmo burglars that came in to get their grubby paws on the one piece here, this extremely valuable Star Wars collection. However, the previous owners, the Gormans, shut that idea down. They admit that they did have break-ins, but at no point were any of the Star Wars Legos in Brian Mansell's collection subjected to that. They were never taken during any of these break-ins. So it wasn't thieves. That is something that gets ruled out pretty early on here. So who has the Legos? Where are they? Is, does Smog have it? He's just sitting on it like a pile of gold, and like crazy how this shit can just vanish like that, and no one in a very small, tight group of suspects has any knowledge on where it is. CoffeeZilla even plays around with one of the ideas that maybe Reckless Ben stole it because, as you might recall, the cops came in guns blazing when they arrested them because apparently they got a tip that the YouTubers in this Airbnb had a conversation about their stolen Legos they have. And also, one of the owners even accused Ben of stealing the Legos when he was melting down, fucking crashing out on a phone call saying, "Fuck you, you stole the Legos, bitch." So CoffeeZilla explores that idea, and it obviously reaches a pretty comically dumb conclusion that there is no world where that happens. That is just barnacles, because Reckless Ben literally couldn't steal them. It actually would have been impossible. He wasn't there that night. He had no connection to the previous franchise owners, had no interaction with like the takeover or anything. He had no chance to even steal the Legos if that was part of a nefarious, dubious plot he was cooking up. Genuinely, it is impossible for him to have been the one who stole the Legos. So then CoffeeZilla looks at Ammon.
My name is Ammon McNeff. I am the CEO of the Bricks and Minifigs brand.
So my name's Matt McNeff. I'm the COO of Bricks and Minifigs. The people you just saw are the McNeff brothers. They agreed to speak with me to try to clear their name.
Boy howdy, you can probably already imagine how well this goes. Their defense not watertight. I'm always so impressed by CoffeeZilla's ability to get the star clowns of his investigations to speak directly to him. And every time, without fail, they make fools of themselves. It keeps happening, and I'm thankful that it does. I'm just always surprised. Now that being said, Ammon does make a strong point about off-site holding of Brian Mansell's collection, which is something Brian had reiterated on a podcast like a year ago about how his collection was being stored outside of that Bricks and Minifigs location, outside of the facility. It was in fucking secure black site or something for security, which I think is very odd. That is peculiar. Why? They store the Legos in fucking Fort Knox or something on consignment. Like that is very weird if you ask me.
Parts of it seem to go missing on November 14th.
Well, and I guess no, not at all. I'm going to say like that is not accurate at all. Because
so you think that the collection was in the store at the time or elsewhere?
When you look at Mansell's own words that he reiterated to a podcast last year, he explicitly stated to another podcaster, the sets were moved off-site for security.
The collection will not be stored on-site after hours for security reasons, and after Sunday, the sets will be available for purchase and stored elsewhere.
CoffeeZilla then brings this up directly to the previous owners, the Gormans, about the off-site storage of Brian Mansell's Star Wars Lego collection, asking them to pour a bit of milk on the cereal. What does this all mean? What does it look like? And I think the way they explain it does make more sense about why it was stored off-site for a brief period of time. The way Ammon describes it makes it sound like it was some kind of indefinite thing where they had it buried underground, in like a fallout shelter or something that they were, squatting on there, and it seemed very underhanded and shady. But the way they describe it and like the reason behind it, that also makes sense.
Locations. Can you address what that is? Is that true?
So the off-site location in the letter that the corporate is referring to is the original press release that we released when we were launching the collection. In that press release, because we had previous break-ins, I specifically included the location that after this weekend, those Legos would be stored off-site to deter any future thefts. They were briefly stored off-site after that launch weekend, while I bought safes for the back room, and then they were moved back into the store.
Oh, okay, so for most of the time, the sets were in the store after you got the safes in.
Exactly. To me, that does pass the smell test. If they are having problems with thieves, Lego City's under attack from ne'er-do-wells, well, now they have this extremely valuable collection that belongs to Brian Mansell's father. In order to try and keep it safe and secure, they don't have any like safes or anything like that. So in the interim, while they get those safes, they store it off-site. I get that. Like, I do understand that. And according to them, once they did get those safes, they did bring it back. So it was in the store for the majority of the time. It was only off-site for a little while.
And one group in particular is pointing their finger at them very hard. It's the McNaffs who say they were behind on payments.
We started getting calls from the landlord letting us know that Crystal was behind on the lease payments at the location. We also gotten a couple of notices from some of our vendor partners that bills had not been paid by the store. And so we felt pretty strongly that there was going to be a risk of her just, like attempting to file bankruptcy, doing some of these types of things, which we've had franchisees do in the past, and that's problematic. So that's why we sent them up there to take some video footage. So we need to just be prepared if we need to do a hostile takeover.
This is not new information from the Bricks and Minifigs side of things about pointing the finger at the Gormans, that they are responsible for all this hoopla. They are the actual bad guys here. They may not have the twirl mustache, but make no mistake, they're the villains. So they are claiming that the Gormans were behind on payments. They weren't doing their due diligence, so there was a fear that it might be bankruptcy, skipping down this kind of thing. So they actually sent Brandon Best undercover, incognito, to shop around and take video to send to them. And this was before Brandon came in to kick them out. So they were already like investigating the Gormans and this shop in particular.
It's a video of the store condition in preparation for this handover. But at this point, Brandon does not announce himself to Crystal Gorman. Later, though, on November 14th, once again, the same concern about the Gorman stealing or theft was expressed by the McNaffs.
Brandon was trying to make sure that they weren't taking things from the store, and so he was kind of trying to make sure that she wasn't putting things, like hiding things in the back, and that he, like, while he was watching that, trying to make sure Ben wasn't grabbing stuff in the store, doing everything along those lines. Because he just got a weird feeling about the whole transition.
She took at least
one, if not more than one, cartfuls of things out to her car with her coat draped over it.
Agent 47 Brandon Best here is undercover, and according to the McNeff's, filming things to make sure everything's above board and that the Gordons aren't stealing things, trying to prevent theft and make sure everything's, above board and as smooth a transition as possible with all the inventory intact without them, making off with it like bandits. The other McNeff that doesn't have a mustache even claims that she was taking cartfuls of items to her car under her coat. How big is her coat? That'd be a fucking massive coat, right? To put an entire cart full of items under it to try and hide it? Is that like a XXXXXXL raincoat or something? Like, what the fuck is it, like that old thing of like 3 kids in a trench coat to buy tickets to a PG-13 movie or some shit? Like, how big of a coat are we talking here to be able to do that? That's a pretty bold claim, and they follow this up by saying that she actually has a history of retail theft. Like, she has a record of like stealing. So she is someone that they don't trust, and they're trying to put doubt into their credibility in the first place here. So it's something that CoffeeZilla explores with the Gordons directly about that. And she does confirm, yeah, that happened in 1999 when she was 19 and pregnant, according to her. And the big thing here is that she allegedly told them about that, which is something McNeff claims they had no clue about.
At their side, but at every turn, I hope you understand, I'm getting contradictory stories. Down to if the McNeffs knew about her history in the first place.
Like, they're bringing up something that I told them about.
Wait, you told them?
Told them. They asked me.
They said they had no idea. They said if we knew, we would have never hired her. So we would not have hired her had we known this.
I told them I had a record from when I was 18. There was a family issue that it didn't go into all of the details, but they were like, that's so long ago, we're gonna hire you based on who you are now.
And she says that when she told them about it, it was something that happened when she was 18, whereas apparently it actually happened when she was 19. Not that it matters here in the context of this, but it illustrates the contradictions that are being met at every single stage of this investigation in this case overall. From the very beginning, that's something I said a lot. A lot of what comes out of Bricks and Minifigs has so many contradictions that are easily accessible to just the naked eye, the peepers here. You can just see that a lot of what they have said is contradicted by other evidence out there. And this is just another one of those examples here, because according to Crystal, she let them know, like off rip, that when she was 18 or I guess 19, she did have this thing on her record here. And after making them aware, they said that was so long ago, which it was fucking 2 decades ago, that it doesn't bother them and that they're still willing to do business with her. But McNeff is now turning around saying that no idea. If they did know, they would have never done business with her. This huge blemish on her record. She is a scoundrel. Did you know that? Did you know that she has a retail theft charge? Did you know that? We can't trust her. She's a fucking heinous evil monster. That kind of thing. When apparently from the very beginning, according to her, she let them know about that. Also, I would think as a big corporation, keep in mind, Bricks and Minifigs, we have to remember, is a huge corporation. They have a team of lawyers. I would imagine they do a vetting process for people that they go into business with, because I imagine they would want to know if a new franchisee is like a felon who has a history of stealing and shit like that. So there's no doubt in my mind that before they even approved her as a franchisee, they would have seen this on her record, this retail theft charge, and they still did business with her. Like, I just find it hard to believe that they wouldn't have known about that, because I have to imagine there's a thorough process that goes into being a franchisee owner with Bricks and Minifigs. It's a huge corporation. That's kind of standard procedure, like background checks. That would come up. I feel like it's very unlikely that Bricks and Minifigs had no idea about that before starting to do business with her. And if they really had no idea about it, that just goes to show you that they're not really a very well managed company if they're neglecting like one of the most standard steps in business, which is just doing a background check.
After a lot of convincing, both sides agreed to show me the photos, corporate and the Gordons. In fact, I scheduled the calls to do this an hour apart from each other. But let's remember their positions for a second. The Gordons say whatever was left unsold of Brian's collection that was in that store spreadsheet was in Salem store the night of November 14th. Then you have corporate side. They say whatever was left that night was maybe $2,000 to $5,000 of Legos. The rest was actually stolen by thieves. The Gordons were held off site. It was not in that store. And on both sides, there's a lot to lose here, right?
This is where it gets really juicy, and now we do get like hard picture proof. And CoffeeZilla also recognizes the effect this has on the others here, the new franchisees that came in. This is the most important component so far in the video about the location of these sets, and also who is being truthful, who is actually providing real evidence to confirm their account of things and disproving the other. That is a very crucial thing to finally have definitive light shined on.
There's a good amount of Lego on hand. This isn't what I would say is well stocked Bricks and Minifigs, but it's not terrible. It's I would say a little below average as far as overall stock. So now let's go to November 14th. Can you still see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So November 14th, we haven't. But this is the first time we've shown this publicly. We've been waiting for our attorneys to give us the approval to say, hey, this is okay now to share in this capacity. So we'll go through these pictures. This is what Josh saw. Brandon saw. He took pictures of everything in the store, all the inventory in the store. This is what shelves look like compared to what you just saw a moment ago.
Okay, so I'm seeing a lot less. Just to take the audience back a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm seeing like way less. So yeah, the pictures being shown on November 14th. Those shelves look emptier than they did on the day of October 24th. But to be fair to the Gordons, they addressed the empty shelves themselves.
So starting with the McNeff side of things here, they have these videos from Brandon where he was recording the inside of that location. And in the first video that CoffeeZilla is getting walked through with the McNeffs, it does seem like the shelves are far more full. He does say that it's not like a well-stocked Bricks and Minifigs, it's a little below average, but it's very clearly more full than that video from November 14th, which is the big day. The shelves are noticeably emptier on that day in that video.
As we get to the very end of this video in particular, right here, you'll see that empty space right here. So this is the retired and certified set section that we have to keep separate from the new in-box current sets being sold by Lego. All those empty spaces up there were the sets that we had on display during the day from Brian's collection that every night when the store closed, we pulled off and put back into the safe and then put back out in the morning.
So when they say there's empty space on shelves, yeah, because we put them in safes.
Yeah,
to keep them safe.
because we have giant windows.
Yeah, it's an explanation that kind of makes sense given the history of burglary. Now,
yeah, that is an explanation that makes a lot of sense. Break-ins happen all the time. Like, look at card shops in particular. There's a break-in every hour at a card shop somewhere. Right now, there's someone probably getting their glass broken in and all their Pokemon cards stolen right out of the fucking display. So they have had a problem with break-ins in the past. So it makes sense that they have it on display during the day when there's people there, and then they take it down at night to put in the safe. So that way, thieves can't just see these valuable Legos sitting out there and decide to just throw a brick through the window. But when you have these two videos, it's very easy to spin a narrative that also makes sense. Look, these shelves were full on this day, but on the most important day, the November 14th day, they are noticeably emptier. That must mean foul play. That must indicate that they are stealing these sets. That's the insinuation they're making with those videos. And yeah, you could make that argument, but when you actually hear from the franchisee owners here, the Gordons, their explanation makes sense on why those shelves would be emptier.
My understanding is that he took pictures of everything, and all those photos I showed you of Star Wars were all the photos, was literally all the Star Wars inventory in the store.
Yeah, the McNeff say all of the photos should be with Brandon of all the Star Wars items. To be fair to them, they showed me a lot more pictures. They even showed me a spreadsheet of all the Star Wars sets in the store the night Brandon took it over, and it valued to about $5,000 to $10,000 or so. But then I had to ask.
Here's another set.
Okay.
Do you think y'all have all of these?
Very likely.
Okay.
I'd be surprised if we did.
But then I couldn't help myself. I started to bring up some of Crystal's photos to see if they matched up.
Have you seen this before?
Not that I recall.
Do you see that? Yeah, so do you see it's in like some kind of like a safe thing? I don't know if you can see the sides there.
It's like a bookshelf to me, but sure.
A bookshelf, bro, be real. We're looking at it. What bookshelf has hinges on the left side of it, presumably too close? Not any bookshelves I'm aware of. Maybe it's not, the craziest, most high quality safe, the giant fucking wheel on it, like the vault door you find at a bank, but that does definitely appear to be a safe that those Legos are in there in Crystal's pictures. So anyway, McNeff is now saying, and even sent a sheet to CoffeeZilla about what was left in the store from the collection, valued at around like $5,000 to $10,000. And while going through pictures, CoffeeZilla starts showing some of Crystal's pictures as well.
Okay, sure, yeah. So I think the important thing is making sure that all of these are in the inventory for Mansell.
Sure.
75041.
Yep, we'll do it.
75169.
169 I'm not seeing, so there may be, okay, so there's one that's not on our list.
Let's try this. 10240.
Okay, nope, not seeing that one either.
What about 9493?
I don't see that one either. So maybe those were locked at the time, and Brandon did not get those pictures.
You already tried pissing on my head and calling it rain when you looked at a safe and said it looked like a bookshelf, so it's hard to extend the courtesy that this is like an honest mistake about these sets that are in Crystal's photographs not appearing in their records of the inventory there. Like, I can't say for sure if it's by design, like they're omitted on purpose maliciously or not, but it is hard to extend any level of benefit of the doubt here. They should be there, and the fact they're not is alarming, and it's something Bricks and Minifigs should take seriously. He kind of like brushes past it a little bit, glosses over it, and like, okay, well maybe this. But like, that shouldn't be the response. Like, it should be something you want to immediately look into a bit more on how this could even happen, this mistake, if it is a mistake.
All right, that's kind of a problem because the Gordons had over 200 photos of this store. I definitely knew looking at these photos, there's a lot more Legos in the Gordons photos, but quite a lot that Brandon's photos just didn't show. The corporate didn't really see it that way.
But still, in the grand scheme of things, we're not talking again 10 times the amount of sets here.
I don't know. I haven't shown all the photos yet. I don't know exactly how much.
If there's a calculable figure that we can look at and say, great, this is what was there,
I promise you, it's not $100,000 worth of Lego. And so where's the rest of it? He got me. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little too in my head about this U-Haul story. You don't think it could have been some U-Haul thing? There's no way.
So to me, I believe the Gormans provided significantly more hard evidence with apparently a couple hundred photos showing significantly more Lego sets in the store than Brandon's documentation had and what Bricks and Minifigs is touting. I don't think that's something to just gloss over here. I don't know if McNeff realizes how bad that looks for them. It's hard to chalk that up as some honest-to-God mistake or something like that, especially when at every turn McNeff is trying to like minimize the amount of Legos with this discrepancy. Like, okay, even if there was some unaccounted for and some wackiness documentation got cattywampus, it's not 100,000, it's not 10 times. Yeah, you might have a couple hundred photos, but it's not like that much. It's very fishy behavior. And speaking of fishy, it's about to get real weird with the U-Haul story.
So when Brandon came to the store that night, he was driving a U-Haul truck.
Now, in typical fashion, this was immediately disputed.
Brandon showed up to the Salem store in a rental car. When he came to get the keys from Bristol, he was there in a rental car, not a U-Haul.
But the big reason it mattered to me was because I was actually called by an ex-employee of the Bricks and Minifigs store in Eugene, Oregon. Remember, that's the one that Brandon and Josh owned. And he told me something very interesting.
The former employee started in 2024. I was looking at the old manager Brian and saw the stories of Brandon as Josh. The developer stole Lego sets in multiple other country.
Who says that?
Brandon told us. When he was jumping up all the Lego sets to us that night, he was looking at a bunch of new Lego sets. That's how I scrambled out, picked up Star Wars CD. That's all I saw. It was a medium-sized U-Haul truck.
Wait, they brought a U-Haul truck
from Salem to Eugene.
and to Eugene, and it had a bunch of Star Wars sets on it?
Star Wars sets and everything. He had a bunch of new stuff too.
So Coffee's was contacted by a former employee at the Eugene location, which was owned by Brandon and Josh, and he talks about how he watched the Reckless YouTube video, and a lot of like what they were experiencing with on their own started to make sense. And then even talked about how that U-Haul that has been brought up by the Gormans actually arrived at the Eugene store full of Lego sets, Saran wrap Lego sets, Star Wars Lego sets. This is a huge, big claim here. This is a real former employee. Coffee's did his due diligence from everything I can tell to confirm this really is an employee who worked where he said he worked, which was at that Eugene location with Brandon and Josh as the owners. And he's talking about how they had a U-Haul that brought these Lego sets, and they were saying like that facility was closed down. You know, she was like haunted. Crystal, big thumbs down, boo. Crystal, like Crystal, boo. She like stealing Legos and stuff. And then he arrives on his chariot here, his U-Haul with these fucking Star Wars sets. That's big. That is colossal. And Bricks and Minifigs McNeff there, you can hear him still denying the existence of that U-Haul in the first place. It is heavily disputed, saying he showed up in a rental vehicle, not a U-Haul. Explicitly saying not a U-Haul, but the Gormans are saying it's a U-Haul. A former employee at the Eugene location is saying it was a U-Haul. I mean, it sounded like it was a fucking U-Haul to me. If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, probably fucking U-Haul.
Like if you look at the footage, the ring cameras, all that stuff, you won't see a U-Haul sitting anywhere in the parking lot.
So after hearing all this, I realized, like, I just gotta find the evidence. So I started sifting through these photos I realized I have a parking lot photo. I check it. No U-Haul, just a red truck out there. I check another photo where you can see the window. The problem is it's night outside, so you can't see. So I'm looking at everything I can, and there's just nothing. You know, I have this alternate angle. I'm looking at that, and then wait, zoom in on that photo. Bring up the brightness of this photo a little bit, and oh my gosh, there's a U-Haul in the parking lot right outside of the store the night of November 14, 2024.
I mean, is this not Coffee's just reaching over to deliver the scholars made here on that claim of no U-Haul? They now have irrefutable evidence of that U-Haul's presence there on that night, which confirms the Gormans' account of things and disproves the Bricks and Minifigs side of things. Now, there was that truck that was there in like the footage that Coffee had access to, but there is also a U-Haul there. So does Bricks and Minifigs just deny the U-Haul in light of irrefutable proof and try and stick to the story that we now know is inaccurate about no U-Haul being there, only a truck? Or do they try and feign ignorance like, oh, we were only made aware of that like rental truck. We had no clue about this U-Haul scheme here.
This is something that Matt said he had seen footage of, and it couldn't be true.
And again, I believe I've seen footage from that night that shows clearly out in the parking lot and there's no U-Haul.
After seeing this, I said, I really have to make a call. And that's when the story changed. So last night, I talked with Matt McNeff. I brought up this question of the U-Haul. He told me emphatically there was no U-Haul. Y'all came to me this morning, you said, hey, we looked into it, there actually was a U-Haul there that night. Can you clear up what that's about?
So there's actually two different things that are going on here, just to help you understand. No, I hate the way Ammon talks. I hate the way he conducts himself. His clothes whack, his mustache whack. This guy sucks, man. Like, let me help you understand, actually. So yeah, there's a U-Haul there. We know you found it. We know you found the evidence of the U-Haul. We're gonna have to change our story a little bit. We're gonna have to tighten the screws a little bit here and try and get something cohesive here, because that doesn't look good, because we really were strongly saying that there's no U-Haul. So here's the spin. Here's the scoop. And I don't want to torture you with more than necessary Ammon words that he dribbles out. He's basically now spinning this web here that actually this is a big misunderstanding. There's an odd conflation that's going on here about like the U-Haul. Like, it's not actually there for like this store's inventory. There was a disgruntled former employee, and there was a bit of mishandling of inventory. So now the U-Haul's there for that, something totally separate, and you know now things are getting crossed. Everyone's all over the place. Yeah, does that clear up? Does that make sense? It really just doesn't make any sense. He's saying that collection that he had brought to the Eugene store was from that other problem that they had, and the employees just misremembering the timeline. Like those Star Wars sets that he had, that U-Haul didn't come from. You know, this one it was from something totally separate. That he was also just doing it like the same time as him investigating the Salem store. He was doing them both. He wears many hats. Jack of all trades. He's very talented. So yeah, he was doing that. And then when he came back on the 14th, he then starts talking about like, oh, he had like a rental truck and he tried to attach a camper to it, but it just wasn't rated for that. So he got, oh crap. Like, this is the story that McNeff is telling. Like, it is quite a tale. It is like a epic up there with the Iliad, I'd say, but like it's not really making a ton of sense to me.
In anticipation of like a camper trailer, in anticipation of the potential house takeover previously. Is that why he had a U-Haul? Is that the reason he had a U-Haul was for this trip camper, or what's going on with the yes? So then what happens is he takes his rental vehicle truck and he tries to connect the trailer, the camping trailer to that truck, and it's not rated for that particular weight, and he realized, oh crap. He called around and found that U-Haul had a rating for one of their box trucks, and so he grabbed that, went and got it at 10 a.m. on the 14th, and so he then went and hooked that trailer up to the camping trailer to a U-Haul, drove that trailer down to another location where he could set up the camping trailer in Salem, dropped off the camping trailer, and then he arrived in a U-Haul to the Salem store, and then
what a story, Mark. Fuck me, bro. The amount of and thens. It's like he's writing fan fiction live. I'm taking a peek inside the writer's room here. Like, he's talking about all this as if he was like a force ghost on this guy's shoulders, like watching him do all of it. Where is this even coming from? Like, who would ever do this? By the way, the story he's telling, I can't fathom a human being doing. Like, it's just so messy and sloppy and convoluted. Like, I just don't see a world where this would be a path that someone actually takes. Now, I'll go ahead and spoil that the U-Haul plotline doesn't get us anywhere closer to finding Legos, but I do think it is important because it illustrates their willingness to change their story or just outright tell a fib. So Coffeezilla got documentation of that U-Haul. He got photos from Brandon of that night, and there's so much discrepancy there that it literally would be impossible for the story to have gone the way that Ammon is claiming it did. And the timing is just not feasible. It literally cannot happen the way in which it's described. So even though the U-Haul doesn't help us solve the mystery Lego here, like Coffeezilla gets to the bottom of it, it just shows to me the willingness for Bricks and Minifigs to just start spinning their fucking wheels about basically anything, and just a complete refusal to like even stick to their own story and their own facts. Like, it's constantly changing with them, and there's always like contradictions that seem to pop up. It is just very shady, I would say. In particular with Ammon's behavior, this guy has a humiliation fetish potentially. He loves to put his face on claims that have contradictory evidence publicly available. So like this one, he tells this whole story, this novel that he writes here about like the U-Haul to explain it, even after the other McNabb firmly, sternly, with no rules, no guesswork, no wiggle room, saying there is no U-Haul. That's wrong. Now proven that wasn't true. There is a U-Haul there. Now Ammon's got this massive story cooked up about it, and the story just like there's no way it can be true based on everything Coffeezilla able to gather from Brandon, like the actual documentation. So like, I don't think there's any world where that's true or reality. Yet he's probably making that claim even when it's like evidence contradicts it, like provably contradicts it. And that's why it's just so peculiar to me. Like they keep saying these things and can't even stick to their own story.
First, from corporate, I got the point of sale records from the Salem store from 2023-2024. And secondly, from Crystal Gorman, I got her internal records of Brian's inventory of what was sold or not in order to pay him and keep track of prices.
Now Coffeezilla gets access to some of the bookkeeping here, and he talks about how the original claim of this being a $200,000 Lego collection is just not true. It's highly inaccurate. It was used as marketing buzz online, yes, like from Bricks and Minifigs themselves as their marketing material, like the $200,000 collection, that kind of thing. And that became, you know, the most eye-catching part of this whole story is how much the Legos are worth. But according to all of what is available here, the actual estimated value is calculated to be around $107,000. $27,000 according to what CoffeeZilla has access to. Still an extremely valuable LEGO collection, but that claim is just not accurate without being 200K. It is still extremely valuable, and that is still an extreme amount of money, but it is important to get things correct. And the correct amount is around $107,000, which, as CoffeeZilla mentions, is somewhat nebulous because they're not all sold, so you can't really say exactly what the value is because they haven't been paid for, so maybe it could be a little more, maybe a little less, but it is not fair to say it's $20,000. He then talks a bit about how surprised Ben is because he didn't believe it's 200K this whole time. He then talks to the Gormans about it, and Crystal talks about how she initially arrived at that number for the sake of like the press release to be high grabbing, but in her spreadsheet she mentioned, or she calculates it around like the 85 to 120K ballpark range, not 200. That was her arriving there off basically like eyeballing it and then putting out the press release about this huge collection that is very valuable that they got hands on, but as she actually went through the inventory in the spreadsheet, it was closer to that like 100K mark.
It's about $107,000. Now, between 2023 and 2024, the Gormans report sales of about $24,000 of Ryan's collection in their inventory tracking list. And of those sales, Ryan was entitled to about 65 to 70% of it. He was paid $17,000, which roughly tracks with that. Which means on November 14th, the big night, the remaining amount of Ryan's collection that should have been in there is about $82,000.
And this is why having the correct number is important. And it's something CoffeeZilla mentions. If you're going to be trying to locate the missing Legos, you have to know what you're even looking for and how much you're looking for here. Because if it's a $200,000 collection, there's a lot more out there in the fucking wild, out there in the rain and cold, needing to be found. But now that we have the accurate numbers, you can start to more fine-tune the investigation to locate them. So on the big night here, on Judgment Day, $82,000 worth of Legos should have been in that store, which is a really big deal because Bricks and Minifigs officially stated that there was only like 2,000 to 5,000 that they located there. And McNeff even said that there's only like 11 to 15K total Star Wars in that location. How is that possible? We have the bookkeeping. There should have been $82,000 worth of Star Wars Lego sets from Ryan Mansell's collection there. But according to Bricks and Minifigs and according to McNasty, McNeff, I don't know why I blanked out his name so hard. Fucking McCheeseburger here. According to him, there was only 11 to 15K in total Star Wars there. So that's not adding up. Where is it?
So I went through Crystal's photos myself, which she shared with me, and hired people to go through and hand tag the Star Wars Legos that were in these photos. We looked through over 200 plus photos, multiple videos, and matched what we saw with Brian's collection. In the end, I ended up with about $21,000 of Legos matching Brian's collection that can be proven to be in the store on the night of November 14th. Now, to say the obvious, that's about 3 to 5 times what corporate estimated, at least on their press release. Now, yes, there are inherent errors in these estimates. Maybe we picked up some Lego that matched Brian's collection, but wasn't Brian's. But even though this is a bigger number than corporate said, I have to admit, even with pretty generous assumptions being made, there's still a huge gap of about $61,000 here that I just couldn't find.
I think that was a really clever way of doing things here. He has so many photos from the Gormans here, and he hired a team to go through manually all natural and tag them, and so that way they could find the valuation of what is provably in the store on that night. And there is still a large amount unaccounted for. Like, yes, of course, there was some error there and how it was gathered and like what the actual value might be, which he points out. But even still, that is such a good thing to work off of there. Because now you have a provable amount of what's in the store and what is still just completely lost in the ether, fucking ghosts out there.
But then I learned Brian had made a special side deal with M&R Productions, who had recently purchased some Legos from him. And this is where it starts to get messy. So these are the pictures that M&R Productions sent me, looking at the Lego that Ryan sold him. This was stuff reportedly in storage, and it's interesting because of an early inventory list, which had a column called location that Crystal used, and it listed a lot of Star Wars items as being located in what they called storage. Now, previously I was told that all of the stuff in storage was put back in the store, but there's a bunch that's on this list that I can't find in the store that seem to appear in these pictures. Now, I've been assured, by the way, that most of these Legos were not part of the inventory spreadsheet. They were never given to Bricks and Minifigs as a separate part of the collection, but I did check, and 100% of the items that match the Brian collection inventory just so happen to be listed with a location of storage. So this starts to make things incredibly fuzzy, and I'm inclined to believe a lot of these are parts of that same inventory list.
Yeah, I think that's a very natural conclusion to draw from that. And this is a really big thing that I had never heard anything about. This side deal on the Star Wars Legos that were sold to someone else totally outside of all of this commotion, but those sets still appear in that spreadsheet, but they're marked as located in storage, which, as CoffeeZilla points out, storage is something, according to the Gormans, that they had off-site but would bring back to the store and put in the safe. So like it was in their possession still, like securely locked down. But how could that possibly be true if they had been sold to somebody else and there are now pictures to confirm it? And it seems like it is all part of that collection. It shouldn't be appearing in the bookkeeping at all in that case. That is super messy. And according to CoffeeZilla's estimates, it comes out to about $15,000 in Lego that isn't missing. We can see where it went. It was sold to somebody else, but in the inventory sheet is still marked in storage, which I believe is very inaccurate to say, and that is quite shady. Now, the next thing he's looking at is the point of sales records, and in there he notices that according to this, $51,000 worth of else, but in the inventory sheet is still marked in storage, which I believe is very inaccurate to say, and that is quite shady.
And by the way, before we continue, yes, this was all a lot of work. If you want to, please support us on Patreon. That's how this show gets made.
I wanted to leave that plug in here because CoffeeZilla's work truly is incredible, and I highly recommend everyone go support him any way you can. His investigations, I think, are among the best, not only on YouTube, but just in general. He really does get to the bottom of his fucking stories in a way that is very rare these days, and I'm always appreciative of his work. Now, the next thing he's looking at is the point of sales records, and in there he notices that according to this, $51,000 worth of Ryan Mansell's collection was sold. And according to Crystal herself, back in like an earlier talk with Coffee, she even says like $50,000 of the collection was sold. But Ryan's only been paid $17,000. What sense does that make? He should be paid more. He is owed more. So where is that? Where has that gone? Who came in and took that lunch money out of him?
It was about 50-something thousand. Yeah. But Ryan was only paid $17,000. Okay. And it should have been about double that.
Without seeing any of those records, without seeing those individual tickets, I can't answer that any better.
This is kind of a problem. The math ain't math in here. 65 to 70% of 50,000 is almost double what we believe Brian was paid. Digging into the details, it turns out a lot of these sales come from what Crystal spreadsheet actually categorizes as layaways, meaning they were marked as having been sold, but layaways are when someone puts a down payment on an item and later pays it off.
I imagine if any of you are familiar with layaways, you just rolled your eyes in a big way. That always ends in a lot of fuzziness, a lot of friction. So now we're starting to see something very new in this story here. So CoffeeZilla has learned that a lot of this comes from layaways.
Worth about $20,000 in layaway, and that felt a little strange to me. And because of that, I asked Josh Johnson, the incoming owner, and he responded, quote, there were 2 to 3 items on layaway when they took over.
I haven't gone through and done a count, but I know it was vastly more than 2 to 3.
It's about 98.
That makes sense.
Coffee then tries to wrap his head around this whole huge amount of layaway, and Crystal then explains like, yeah, it's extremely rare, and she says that she's not even sure they've ever done layaway until this set came in. But then goes on to explain like how the layaway worked, where they put the down payment, then make payments over like 30 days and that kind of thing. And it was just a big. The way she dove into it was already very much a lot of moving pieces. She even mentions like one set particular on layaway 4 times and then eventually got sold. So like this amount of layaway and like the discrepancy between how much layaway, like what Josh is reporting and what is reported on the sheet, like the whole thing with this layaway here is already getting into some really spotty ground, and that makes it hard to like really nail down what's going on and why. Because it feels like a crazy amount to be doing on layaway, which is something CoffeeZilla mentions as well.
So a lot of these are like look at this, like so like it says POS final sale price, but it's listed as a layaway. It's sold for $5.99 because it matches with the store sale price.
Okay.
So were they on layaway? Were they accidentally marked layaway on the spreadsheet? What's going on there?
Our Ewok Village was one of those cases. At some point, he had I think like 8 or 9 different items on layaway. So they come in and make a payment for a bulk payment. I got 800 things on layaway. I'm gonna make $100 on my payment. One customer in particular would do that, and then when he got high enough to pay for one set, we pull that set out, mark it as sold.
She states numerous times without being able to see like the actual sales ticket. She can't really give a great explanation, but she talks about like one of the more complicated layaway experiences they had, like the Ewok Village, and like you can see where things are getting really muddy through this layaway protocol that they had there, and it's leading to a lot of funky bookkeeping that is making some really odd stuff come to light. And another thing that CoffeeZilla gets into, I think, is a very big one.
But I even found more than that in this POS data. I also found about $10,000 in sales that matched Brian's collection that were not marked as sold under this inventory spreadsheet. Some of our things that were not found were explained by the POS system
because they were found in the POS system as being sold. So like they weren't marked on the spreadsheet, but they were marked as sold via the POS system. And this is about $10,000 worth of Lego that basically were matched.
There's a possibility that the consignments were ended when I wasn't at work, and I just didn't go through and pull them up. They didn't get put in a consignment ticket. I hadn't gone through those consignments in a couple of months. I hadn't gone through the inventory for that for in a couple of months. So it is entirely possible there were sales that were finished that I never clocked as being finished. I don't know that without going through and actually seeing it.
But you're saying it's possible stuff was sold, not updated on this inventory list.
It's entirely possible.
Now that is a big stinky whoopsie. If things from this collection are being sold and they're not being updated, and Brian is not getting paid because it's not getting updated, so I don't know that it's getting sold in the first place, you can see where we're having a big problem now. This bookkeeping is now seeming to be the most egregious catalyst to where this whole thing started with this missing Lego collection and him not being properly paid for Legos that may have actually already been sold and aren't even missing. Now, in that audio recording, when Brandon Best came in and kicked them out, she does make a mention that Brandon may not have been paid yet everything that he's owed. That is something that is explicitly mentioned by her. CoffeeZilla also plays the recording where you can hear all that. I played for you a couple times. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And is assured by the man on the phone who we know is Kai, or Key, I forgot how to say his fucking name, that the consignment liability will be taken on by the new franchisees here that are coming in. So Crystal does make a mention that Brian hasn't received everything that he is owed here from all the sales. But from the bookkeeping here, it looked very messy. So the amount that he was going to get paid from Crystal probably still would have been accurate, at least not in my opinion. Not based on everything I'm saying here, because it seems like a lot may have been overlooked, forgotten to be updated, or just lost somewhere along the way in the bookkeeping, which would make it very, very difficult for them to properly compensate him for what they have sold from his collection, either through layaway or through just finishing that consignment there on those. So it was already in a weird spot, but she did recognize that there was money that he was owed and put that on the radar of the new incoming owners.
Maybe you can chalk some of this up to bad record keeping between the U-Haul, the layaway, $20,000 Legos, that's the corporate called $5,000 that was there that night, off of deals. But even if we can't like fully know 100%, what these weird things were about, I think they tell a story of what actually happened to Brian's collection. In a way, multiple people I think are kind of right, kind of wrong. Mormons were correct that more of that collection was there that night of the takeover than previously thought. But corporate also alleged that some of it was offsite, and that appears to be partly true, although some of that is disputed, and it looks like way more of the collection was sold in layaway than Brian was paid for. But all in all, there's a lot less missing than many people think, especially if your starting number is $200,000.
Very, very, very true. Yeah, after watching this, it is extremely clear that from the very beginning there was not nearly as much missing as everyone thought going into this story. And yeah, Bricks and Minifigs seems to be liar plans for hire in a bunch of cases. Sure, but they're claiming about like the offsite stuff. Yeah, he's right. It does seem like on all available evidence that is true. Not just offsite and then brought back and put in the safe, but like sold offsite, like to that other guy, and then the Gormans are correct that there were more Legos there than Bricks and Minifigs is saying. And it does look like a lot of this goes back to really terrible record keeping. I don't know whether that's like malicious, like the Gormans were trying to like scrape from the top, or trying like stiff Brian and take the lion's share for themselves and like use underhanded tactics for it, or if it really was just bad bookkeeping because they weren't very good at bookkeeping. It's hard to say for sure. I don't know one way or the other on that. But the layaways and how they kept track of everything is clearly a huge issue that definitely made this situation significantly messier. And according to CoffeeZilla, Brian Mansell is still owed like $50,000 to $83,000 by his estimation here in payments that he hasn't received that he should have received in this general ballpark range. That is the most important piece of all this. A man who's been really wronged on all sides here, it seems, that is still owed this money here from this fucking conundrum.
For Lego he wasn't compensated for. And I think honestly that's something that Bricks and Minifigs obviously should handle and make right. Regardless of what a franchisee does, the new one, the old one, the company behind it must stand behind their product or service. And I can't imagine a better example of a company doing the opposite. Unfortunately, Bricks and Minifigs has chosen to deflect and dodge responsibility at most opportunities and created a really awful customer experience that has snowballed into this crazy series of events.
That's so fucking right. CoffeeZilla absolutely hit the bullseye. It's something I've been saying from the very beginning. Even if Bricks and Minifigs at some point along this journey came out and proved everyone was wrong here, at the very core, Brian Mansell is a customer who attempted to use the Bricks and Minifigs service because he believed it was the gold standard and his best bet to sell his father's lifelong Star Wars collection for life-changing money, and through this ended up getting completely shafted. And yes, a lot of it could maybe tie back to like terrible record keeping with the previous owners, but at the end of the day, it is something that Bricks and Minifigs themselves should have been more than willing to make right on their own, because it is still their company, it is their brand. And every step of the way, they villainized Brian. They attacked Brian and refused to make it right without this huge public spectacle putting pressure on them. Now Ammon's singing the whole like let's just all be friends, come grab my arm and we'll square dance type shit. Like it took a huge massive avalanche, as CoffeeZilla described it, to finally get them to even toy with the idea of making it right. But they have nowhere along this path actually wanted to do that, which is why I've said this makes no sense for their business, because who the fuck would want to work with them going forward? Because if you are Brian Mansell, if you're a customer that wants to use Bricks and Minifigs and you're going to sell through them and something goes wrong, they're not on your side. They have proven that they will be actively combative against you and will do everything they can to slap you down for their own self-interest. That is the most glaringly obvious fumble you could ever make as a business, and something Bricks and Minifigs still to this day refuses to recognize.
But instead of taking accountability for that, they've taken an aggressive legal strategy, which I told them personally was a horrible idea. As writing is, Brian Mansell is being sued for $1.3 million as part of a legal campaign against him and Reckless Ben and any of the associates. Remember, Brian is the same guy who lost all these Legos at Bricks and Minifigs store, and I told the CEO and COO that's ridiculous and they should drop this. Look, mistakes have been made by plenty of people here, but there's a lot more people who have inflicted self-owns, the likes of which we've rarely seen, by just choosing the worst possible path at every fork in the road. No pun intended. But the best path to making things right, in my view, is by just making Brian whole and moving on.
Yeah, so as Ammon continues to do his like playing the world's smallest violin for why would anyone think about Bricks and Minifigs feelings, we just want to make Brian Mansell whole. That's the main thing that we're thinking about over here. We just have him constantly in our thoughts and we're praying for him. We want to help him, we want to work with him collaboratively as best friends together. I want to kiss him on the mouth, I want to group up in the shower with Brian, all of our team together as one nude, just going on and on about how their mission is now to help Brian do everything they can for Brian, and meanwhile they're actively suing him for $1.3 million, which is why everything Ammon is saying about it just feels so fraudulent, feels so scummy. He is a snake. He's saying that he just wants to help him and make Brian whole again. We want to give him what he's owed, while actively suing him for $1.3 million. That's a terrible idea. And again, this should show every customer ever in the Lego community to not work with Bricks and Minifigs, because Brian's only crime was getting fucked by their business. Like yes, their franchisee, like the Gormans definitely played a huge role with how they handle things and making it so messy in the first place. But when he tried to correct course and try and get what he's owed and going through corporate, look at what happened. Look at what's happened. Yes, he went to Reckless Ben as well, where things really popped up. But what other avenues did he have? He couldn't fight them legally. There's even record of a Bricks and Minifigs higher up, like someone that's not at the bottom of the food chain that has a pretty substantial position there, on record, on the phone, even saying that they will just financially bleed them dry talking to the Gormans. They'll draw it out in court and they'll lose more than they would have ever made sure they win. Like going the legal route for an ordinary citizen like Brian Mansell is extremely costly and not actually attainable path. So he tried to do everything in his power to just be paid what he's owed, like be made whole again, just try and get this resolved. And look at what's happened to him. Bricks and Minifigs is suing him for $1.3 million. I don't blame him for going to Reckless Ben. You can point the finger at Reckless Ben like the way he handled it was like bad and counterproductive, whatever. Without it, nothing would have changed in Brian's personal situation here. And it's just I don't know how anyone could possibly defend Bricks and Minifigs' decision to sue him here. $1.3 million, like he is a victim of your business, man. Like this shit is crazy to me. It is a terrible idea and they refuse to back down on it. This is why I really just don't think anyone should do business with Bricks and Minifigs going forward. They are not good partners to work with. They're not looking out for you, the person that wants to do business with them. This shit is just ridiculous.
They're basically met with like unreasonable requests, things like that. So documentation is not unreasonable, you think? I think they would say they provided the documentation. You guys say you need more documentation. So I mean, that's kind of the spread. Like I understand, a spreadsheet and contract are a good start. Yeah. No, we never got it.
Oh. Oh, where is it? What? I must play it away. Why?
That was never sent to us at corporate, by the way. Y'all do have the spreadsheet though, yeah. That was shared online like months after we asked for it. It says I'm so confused. It says I'm on the far right. It says storage used, owned by BAM Franchising Inc. Owner Salem.or BricksandMinifigs.com. What are you looking at?
It is incredible how Ammon cannot help but put his own dick in his mouth all the time, constantly. So this is like at the end of CoffeeZilla's video now. He's given his thoughts on this whole thing and his conclusions, and he was taking it to the parties involved here. And when talking with Ammon, Ammon's like, oh, we already got that, which is just provably false. CoffeeZilla to his face proves that they had access to this spreadsheet that he's claiming they didn't have access to until months later. That is a verifiably false statement, Ammon.
It says owner Salem.or BricksandMinifigs.com. That's you guys. It says owned by BAM Franchising Inc. It says created September 6, 2024. When I look at it, this is the Excel list. So this would have been created under, like, so we we have the, we don't definitely have this. You have access to this. Well, I had no idea.
Then you're dumb, Evan. Then you're just stupid. How about that? You're just an idiot. You're a bumbling imbecile. You're a moron. And then you continue to say, like, oh, I never even provided it. Well, you just don't know that. It's too stupid now. Like, Evan actually boggles my mind, bro. It's crazy.
Like, so if this is the first thing that has shown me.
It's always like that. I didn't know. I don't sabia.
This is the first I've seen that this spreadsheet was created by Crystal. We don't know how accurate it is, how up-to-date it was. We don't know a lot of those types of things. And I understand. I appreciate you sharing this with us because we had no idea. Again, you don't know what you don't know. You can't, like, we don't know everything. And we don't go, like, looking in every nook and cranny everywhere. You know, we just don't know some of those things.
So you're just talking shit business. Like, this isn't a good defense, Evan. Oh, you just don't know. You just, like, actually don't keep track of any of this shit. Yeah, we just, like, actually have no idea. You don't know your own business. Man, wake up. Use your head. You shouldn't be in the position you're in then. How does that in any way excuse anything of what's happened here? It's a terrible defense, man. Especially when you keep trying to, like, poke holes in other people's stories when you admittedly don't even keep track of your own shit. You don't even know your own things. You don't even know you even have access to in the first place. So how can you even be approaching things to talk about them or opine on them, Evan? Like, you're off your gourd. Yeah, anyway, it was a fantastic investigation. I really do think got to the bottom of most of the meat and potatoes here. At the end, the Gordons also mentioned that they recognize that a lot of this falls on their shoulders for potentially like bad bookkeeping, and that they're more than willing to like take accountability for that and try and make it right. But they need tickets for bricks and minifigs, which they said they would do. That kind of stuff. All in all, just another banger here from CoffeeZilla, an incredible investigation, and can only hope that Ryan Mansell gets made whole here from bricks and minifigs, and they actually pay him what he's owed. They need to make things right, and it starts with making him whole and dropping that fucking lawsuit. You actual imbeciles, man. It's crazy. Anyway, amazing work from CoffeeZilla. Please go support him in any way you can. That's really about it. Yeah.
Okay, I hope so. They can drop the lawsuit because yeah. Oh well. The very least that. Still going. No wait, well. Tied up. Interesting. Oh. It's only that and nothing more. Too much. Pum 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 bottom bottom bottom. Pum 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 pum. What? Pum pum. Let's see.
同志们，今天周五啊，周五今天是那个什么节日？本命的年的节日。今天Costco疯狂堵车，用还没来1天了，我们完全被堵死了，知道吗？也堵了半个小时了。我们从那边过来的，那边出去的路已经完全堵死了，我们只能绕着那个红地道这边。但红地道这边也是被堵死了，同志们非常夸张，完全都没有动，一点都没有动。
What is this music?
大家看现在是堵车的照片，全部都堵死在这儿。我们后面已经没有车了，我们后面已经把车都全部都推走了，太夸张了。
What a jam. Feels like a parody. It has to be parody. Mhm. Alright. Just one very last one. One last one. I might as well just double check the links. Nope. Oh. Nothing there. Jesus. Cursed one. Oh. Whatever. Yes.